just about underway. Day number 2 of this 2017 Bassmaster Elite Series season. We're here in East Tennessee at a place we've never been before with the Elites, Cherokee Lake, up here not far from Douglas Lake where we've been before. Got a lot of action to show you today. A very, very important day, but hey, each and every day here, all season long, is so critical, so important. We're going to find out what unfolds on the second day of the first event of the year, and we hit you with some Bassmaster Live.
Oh, it's another big one. He's in the float. Yeah. Wow! Yes. Oh my God. He is our champion, ladies and gentlemen.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
We're absolutely live with you this morning. There's our leader of the tournament, Cliff Crochet, after one day of fishing on the Cherokee Lake here. You can see it's still a little bit dark. We're just before the time when there's enough light to take off and a full field of 110 anglers. So hopeful. Everyone looking for a good start to 2017 on this Bassmaster Elite Series, fishing against the best in the world. Tommy Sanders here. It's so great to have the best in the world, in my opinion, in what he does. One and only Mark Zona, a turn in the chair today. So happy to have you here.
It's awful kind of you to start the season off saying that,
happy
Tommy.
to say that.
12 years, Tommy Sanders.
Didn't it?
I never thought I would say this to you in 12 years of covering, I don't know, 3,042 tournaments with you. We are going to open the season with a predominantly smallmouth fishery. Never expected that.
Unbelievable. You know, it's fun to start down there in Florida, but I think this is going to be something special here. So different, as you say. It's such a curveball for everybody, or will it be? Some guys are going to figure it out. Some guys already have.
Well, and really, this is going to be the tale of two tournaments, at least for what we're covering today.
Okay.
Your leader solely concentrating on largemouth in the dirtiest water he can find. Totally getting away from the crowd, where everybody else kind of fishing that clearer water, deeper, more typical wintertime pattern.
Now, this is a lake that feeds a river that becomes the Tennessee River. Now, a lot of people say, hey, it's an upland reservoir, but it fishes more like one of these Tennessee River lakes, like Chickamauga or something.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When we break down the lay of the lake today, to me, very, very interesting. The similarities to some lakes we cover often on the Elite Series.
All right. Every time we have a group of leaders after the first day of fishing, things tend to turn upside down on that leaderboard today. How much of that is going to go on?
I think you're going to see a ton of that today.
Well, we can always expect that because that's what always happens here. Thank you for being with us today on Bassmaster Live. We got 6 hours of coverage coming your way today. The schedule's a little bit different as we go through the day, and we'll roll that out for you. We'll explain it all for you. But Mark Zona's here, and we're going to break it down for you, and we're going to learn a lot more than we generally learn on the first day of a Bassmaster Live coverage.
Something we didn't learn yesterday is, once again, if you would have looked at a lot of the pre-tournament reports, you would have thought that Cherokee does not have a bass swimming in it. There's not a single. It is the toughest lake in the country.
Sure.
Look, for the water temps to be in the mid 40s and dropping yesterday. Here's the beautiful thing about any of those lakes, really, in Tennessee or Kentucky. Those fish are used to that, man. They are used to that, those cold temps. And the other side is, this lake has an incredible population of not decent smallmouth, of just big quality 3 to 4 pound fish.
Now, yesterday at the very top of the leaderboard, we saw the largemouth play pretty big. Are those subject to getting all picked off and changing the complexion of what these bags are going to look like at the end of the tournament?
Look, to me, that's really the X factor in this tournament right now. Is if you looked at, I believe it was Skylar Hamilton, a rookie on the Elite Series this year. He said, look, the lake doesn't get as much credit as it should for its largemouth fishing because of the smallmouth fishing being so good. The other side of that is, here's the benefit. If you're one of those guys like Cliff Crochet that is just really targeting largemouth, he said, look, I don't want to be near any of that clear water. And he said, when I tell you that I'm fishing dirty water, I'm fishing the muddiest water I could find. The benefit of that is he has it to himself, where everybody that was fishing down lake, except one angler, and we'll get into that, everybody that was down lake targeting those deep water smallmouth, they were kind of hodgepodging around on those deeper areas, just kind of hopscotching each other. So you have to look at, as an advantage to Cliff Crochet, is he's totally alone upriver.
Yeah.
Totally alone.
A super advantage, you'd think, at least for the time being.
And here's the other side of it. If Cliff Crochet tells you that, look, man, it is dirty water that I'm fishing, he knows it.
He should.
He was actually, you never hear this, but this time of year, one of the last things you want is cold, muddy water. Anywhere in the country. And he
Standard practice.
He goes, I would welcome a 7-inch rain right now like you could ever imagine.
All right. So. All right. Things to process through your mind. Again, I tell you, we got 110 guys out there. We've got actually 111 boats on the water.
Exactly right. One being very critical.
Very critical, very familiar, of course, for the last 2 decades. This guy would be out there with his baits tied on, ready to go fishing today. This time around, Davy Hite has joined the opposition.
Wow!
Nice. We're all part of the same team.
Tommy, we are the opposition. Trust me.
I shouldn't have said it that way. But Davy Hite out there today, and I know it's mixed feelings for you out there. We're so proud, so happy to have you because you're such an integral part of understanding what happens inside this tournament. But again, what's going through your mind right now?
Well, thank you, Tommy, and good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Z. Yesterday was very emotional for me. I've been answering the questions for a couple months now, what it is going to feel like that first morning of the Elite Series when you're not fishing. I've been doing this full-time for 23 years, and, I answered the question thinking that I would know how it would feel, and I was at peace with it. I'm moving on to bigger and better things, hopefully, but it didn't hit me yesterday until I put my boat in the water, I pulled over to the side, but when I was standing on the bank, the last thing that they do before you actually take off is play the national anthem. And when I was standing behind the flag, looking at the American flag, but also seeing all the guys out on the water, I got a little emotional. I really did. And it's the first time I actually took a picture and sent it to my wife, and I said, it's the first time I've stood on this side of the flag at takeoff in over 23 years. So it hit me at that moment, but I got over it, and they got out on the water and was able to be around the guy. So it's really good to be here and to be involved in the tournament just in a different way.
Well, Davey, all our guys out there, think of our 11 rookies who come and they do their first tournament here, and they look around generally, and at a tournament they'll see a Kevin Van Dam, a Rick Clunn, and a Davy Hite, and they'll say, hey, I know I've hit the big time. This is it. This is real. This is really happening. They're still going to be able to look at you, but in a different way, and I think that's going to be a plus for everybody.
Well, I sure hope so, Tommy. I owe a lot to the sport. I mean, it's been my life for the last 20 couple years. I've raised two fine young men. My wife has stuck with me. She had more confidence in me than I had in myself when I started this stuff, because I had a 1-year-old son, had just built a new house, and to quit your job, I was full-time military, Army National Guard. I'd been wearing camouflage clothes and combat boots to work for 10 years prior to that, and then I turned in my resignation and started fishing for a living. But it was a tough decision. Everybody, we all dream to do this, but to really take that step and hope that you can make your living through this sport, it's really tough. But I was blessed so much and accomplished more than I ever dreamed of, and I enjoy seeing the young guys. I've had really bad finishes and I've had some good finishes, and I see it from both ends. And like Cliff Crochet yesterday, leading this tournament going into today. It's the first one he's led. He's been out here for 8 years, and I've talked to him a little bit this morning, and he's really excited, and I feel good for him. And it's cool for me to be out here, and like I say, I hope I can, be an asset to the sport and be side by side with some of these guys. Speaking of Cliff Crochet, I got him right here. We're going to talk to him a little bit, but I'm gonna enjoy what I'm doing here, and I look forward to it.
Hey, Davey, real quick, Davey, real fast, can I ask you one more question real quick, bud? And that's, as far as the media goes with the anglers, how has it gone? Obviously, you're embraced being a legend. Have any of those anglers, though, treated you like real media and kind of shunned you at the way?
Well, yeah, not yet. I'm sure that's coming. But one thing that's interesting, now, like you guys, I need to talk to the guys that are catching them so we can plan what we're going to do for their next day. Guys do not want to tell me how they caught them. Even Cliff, yesterday when I talked to him, he said, I can't tell you what I was doing. I said, man, I'm not fishing against you anymore. You can tell me. So it's going to be a little learning curve there maybe for some guys because, I was the last one. A lot of them wanted to tell where they were fishing, how they were fishing, all that sort of thing because I had caught them once or twice in my career. But it's going to be a little learning curve there, but I'm going to enjoy this, and being taught like to the media is going to be fun. But I got Cliff here. Want to talk to him a little bit yesterday about his day and how he's feeling this morning.
I'm feeling good. It's kind of chilly, but not as cold as I thought. But I feel good. I'm excited, not too excited. Just ready to go fishing.
So, do you feel like this is just another day on the water? You seem awful calm for Cliff Crochet.
Yeah, I know what today can do, for the whole week and maybe for my career. But I also know too it's a long day. It could be a grind. It's just the only thing you can do to take care of it is just go fishing. That's all you can do.
I talk a lot about momentum in our sport. It's just like momentum in every other sport. Tom Brady got some momentum in the Super Bowl and came back from way down and 25 points down, and you won the last tournament you fished. It was open as your first Bassmaster win, and coming into this deal, you've got that momentum.
Yeah, I think it's just a big move, good vibes, and it just flows. And when good things happen, success breeds success. You don't question it. You have fun. You relax, and you have the big moves on my side. I like it.
Good deal, man.
Davey, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Boy, momentum. Davey just hit on it right there. 3 of our top 4 guys. I mean, momentum is their whole story.
I want to be with Davey all day.
No kidding.
I mean, that right there is the meat.
That was strong
Seriously.
stuff right there.
And the other side is, it was something that Davey hit on right there. To me, that's spot on. Cliff Crochet is usually wound pretty tight.
Yeah.
He is usually, when I got to speak to him last night, we're going to get into how he's catching them, but when I got to speak to him last night, just like that interview right there, very subdued, very calculated, very calm, which, I don't know, maybe winning that open, maybe getting that confidence.
Yeah.
When he caught him last year in Florida, I mean, he was ratcheted down going into the second day.
Totally different. And he's been telling everybody, if you watch at Bassmaster.com, that, hey, I'm a new guy. I let things happen. I'm not forcing the issue anymore. So maybe we'll see how it works out. Dave Mercer's been observing all of that. Our own Dave Mercer in the house. It's so great to have all his team assembled here. It's the strongest effort we've been able to put forward on Bassmaster Live. And Dave's out there ready to send these guys just moments away. And for you, what's the vibe there? This is always such a momentous occasion. Start of a season. Everybody's got their hopes up, just waiting for something to happen.
Tommy, it's like, you compare it to baseball, compare it to any sport, it is opening day, and our anglers were jacked yesterday. But some of those words you use for the Cajun baby, calm, cool, collected, generally not words you associate with him. One of my best buddies on tour, but he is definitely a changed angler this year, one day into the season. And you're right, that open win has freed up some stuff. But speaking of open wins, let's come join one of my buddies here. First time on the Bassmaster Elite Series. We saw him a few years ago at Bass Fest. But Skylar Hamilton, you're a Bassmaster Elite Series rookie. If we can help you get down on here, and I don't want you to start your rookie career by breaking your ankle, but dude, what a way to start your career. Man, you caught him in a big way yesterday in contention.
Yeah, man, it's always good, especially on your home lake. You know how that works. It can work both ways, and it can hurt you. It can help you a lot. The only problem I'm having this morning is my right battery-powered heated sock is not working. My left one is working, so it might be pretty crucial to my technique today, so I might be in bad shape.
You have battery-powered heated socks.
Yeah, they cost like $200, and I say it because that one don't work. And that was, I spent all my money I won last year in the Opens, $200 on my battery-powered socks. So, and I'm pretty upset. So I'm going to have to go back to Dick's and trade them back in, I guess. This is the last pair, too.
That right there is millennial problems. My heated socks are not working. Are you going to catch them out there today?
I hope so. It's going to be a different day. You just have to adjust Cherokee. You have to go with the flow, and that's what I do best, and hopefully it'll work out.
This weather, you know this body of water well. Some people said yesterday was the day to get them. It's going to get a lot tougher here today. What's your take on that?
I'm not sure if it will or not. Yesterday I thought would be a tougher day just because of the conditions we had with the wind and stuff. Smallmouth like to bite and that kind of stuff, but yesterday they bit pretty good. And today I don't think it's going to affect them too much. We'll see. I might go out there and not catch them very good, but I think I will.
I'm looking forward to seeing you catch them. Now, confirm or deny, it is true that you left a lucrative career as a soap opera star, Skylar Hamilton, to join the Elite Series.
Well, I don't know. Looking back now, especially out here in 20 degrees, I wish I had that job back probably.
Skylar Hamilton, wish you luck. One of the best handles on the Bassmaster Elite Series. But as you can see, all our anglers getting staged and getting ready to get out on the water here. Day number 2, this is a very important day. We talk a lot about momentum in this sport, and I want to tell you something about momentum. If this doesn't prove it to you, nothing else will. You look at the top 3 in this tournament. Cliff Crochet, Jesse Wiggins, and Seth Fighter. All of them won the last Bassmaster event they fished. Every single one of them. So that shows you how important momentum is in this sport. And these guys have started off the season right. But the goal today, to get in that top half of the field and move on and fish on Saturday. The top 12, of course, fish on Championship Sunday. But you got to make it through today. Today, moving day on the Bassmaster Elite Series. We are just moments away from takeoff. And let's continue to move along here, guys, so we can show you some sights and sounds. I'm seeing a pretty popular guy right over there. Maybe we can get with him and see what's going through his mind. We went from an Elite Series rookie to somebody who is definitely not a rookie, but he had an incredible season last year, 3 wins. And let's quickly try to get with Kevin Van Dam. Kevin, real quick, we are live right now. Kevin Van Dam, just a few moments. But you got a bunch of stuff to get done here, Kevin, and get out there. But conditions today, going to make the fishing better or tougher?
I think it's going to change it a lot. It's going to make it a lot tougher. That wind and clouds and that, even though it was nasty yesterday, that's what really makes these smallmouth bite. So, today's you're going to have to adapt and change a little bit. Who knows? We'll see it weigh in.
We'll see you at weigh-in. Good luck, Kevin Van Dam. Just a few minutes until takeoff. First boat's going to leave at 7:20 this morning, official time right now, right before 7:16, almost 7:17. So we're just a few minutes away from takeoff. Stop number 1 of the Bassmaster Elite Series here on Cherokee Lake. An incredible way to kick off the season on these cold, cold temperatures. But let's kick off this event as we do all events. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand and remove your hat for the national anthem.
Underway, Dave Mercer getting ready to send them all off there, these 110 anglers. And Dave Mercer's right, Mark Zona, this is the year of the fancy name, Skylar Hamilton, Stetson Blaylock, but how about the name Such?
Yes.
That's what we're talking
exactly
about right
now.
now.
And I hate to say this, I never knew where you were actually at in the studio.
Yeah, all these
so
years,
it's
2
nice
years,
to
and
be
we
here.
just found out he's right here across the room
Behind
from
the
us.
curtain, yeah.
So we're over here to visit.
Such, I'm going to throw one thing that we've been covering quite a bit on Bassmaster.com. And to me, the story of this tournament is these guys are getting ready, and trust me, when they get to their fishing spots, we're going to be out there with them. One of those anglers that we're with today Jesse Wiggins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? The parallel of the way his career has started compared to Mike McClelland back in the mid-90s. For some of you younger folks that are just kind of following the Bassmasters, well, the last 10 years, before Mike McClelland became the powerhouse on the Elite Series, he was a powerhouse in the Opens.
Well, Wiggins is very similar. He's won 2 of his 8 events already, 2 Opens. He's got 2 Classics before he's even fished 1.
Exactly, which is exactly what McClelland did before he got to which was then,
96, yeah,
which was
96,
then I think the Bassmaster Top 150.
It was the Invitationals.
Invitationals.
Yeah, Arkansas Invitational and a Ross Barnett Invitational.
Yes.
Too, I think. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
before
going back to
he
this
literally got to the big time, just like Wiggins, 2 Open/Invitational wins.
All right.
You say he's going to go like McClelland and win 4 Elites and then...
I'll be dead honest with you.
He
At the
might.
rate he's going, he's
Yeah.
going to win more than 4 Elites.
Yeah, he's got to be disappointed every time he doesn't win a tournament. Good point. What a pullback from history.
But
Great job.
in all honesty, if
Yeah.
you really think about that, if you think about those 2 Invitational wins for Mike McClelland, propelled his career
7 wins with
instantly.
the Bassmasters. Now he
Instantly.
stands today.
And
Incredible.
from what Wiggins' neighbors tell me, being Jordan Lee and guys like that grew up with him, he is incredible.
So there's room at the top.
There's
for this
room, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Good to know. Hey, there's room for everybody to participate with us today. We always invite our audience to interact with us. Now, how does that work this year? We do it a little different every year.
We don't have the
Okay.
chat on the bottom of the video player, but text, tweet, and Instagram and Facebook at Bass Live, hashtag Bass Live.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll get you and try to
The
respond to a
questions.
lot of people. And I've
Yeah.
been answering a couple folks already this
You're gonna
morning.
keep us posted. I
Somebody
mean,
from
if there's a-
Australia already.
Can we, I don't know if we can do this at the end of the day, can we pick a question or comment of the day?
I would love that.
Sure.
Can we do that?
Oh, yeah.
And if there's an online uprising against us, will you give us warning?
Oh, not if. Not if. Not if.
When there's an
Yeah.
online
Yeah.
uprising against us, you'll let us know.
Yeah, it already says no singing.
What?
Tom,
No.
Tom,
That's
Tom.
reject that. I reject that. You bring
Yeah,
the
you don't
goods
have to
every year.
listen to them. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, but seriously, all the questions you can throw. And not only that, one of the things that we did last year, if there's questions we can't answer, whether it's a question about the lake, a very in-depth question, we will either ask one of the anglers or some of the local anglers that are following us right now on Bassmaster Live.
Always get the answers to you one way or another here, so definitely participate. As always, participate right now by calling your friends. We're on earlier. We're coming to you. I mean, obviously, we're right here. They haven't even launched yet. We've been with you for a while. That's the way we're doing things. That's the new scheme of things. So let your friends know who like this show that you got to get up a little bit earlier. But it's worth it. I mean, the stuff we got from Davy, this more unbelievable, and Dave Mercer. It's stuff we don't get to see. We don't get to experience. Now we do. He's sending them out right now, these guys. There's Brian Snowden. We'll be with him today. Now, this is a lake not too far, 20 miles from Douglas, Markzona, but it's a completely sort of different setup, isn't it?
Exactly right, Tommy Sanders, and that is going to be the Humminbird Lay of the Lake this week. A place that we have not been to together, and here's the best way to put it. This is the lake of 2 halves, okay?
Okay.
You're looking at about 60 miles long, but the bottom half is that typical clear, deeper water where a lot of the smallmouth population is. And if you go up that lake, that's when you're going to get into more of really just that river system, dirtier
Where you'd
water.
find a Bill Lowen or a Cliff Crochet.
Where you'd find a Cliff Crochet. With that being said, though, here's the best way to describe this if you're watching this online right now. It is just like Table Rock, minus all of the flooded timber. Okay. And one of the things, if you look at this lake, you're looking at a lot of red clay, chunk rock, pea gravel, into big boulder style fishing. And coming into this tournament, Keith Mullins from right around there, he said, here's the best way, besides Aaron Martin's, which was my pick for this tournament, Such, one of the people to watch in this tournament was going to be Brian Snowden, who guides on Table
Rock Lake. It all comes together. He's one of our Rapala 4 Live, the guys we're going to be with live all day long. 6 hours of coverage coming to you today. And there he is, Brian Snowden from Table Rock Lake, Springfield, Missouri, coming up here and having a fantastic 18-pound plus day on day number 1, 4th place, Brian Snowden. Oh, look at there.
My God, there he is. Wants to be referred as the hyena this year. Do you hear me?
Did not.
He is one of our Rapala 4 Live. Seth Fighter, and here's the same thing, Such, catching him almost the exact same way he won Mille.
All right. Also, we'll be with this guy right here, the momentum man, as Dave Mercer pointed out, and we're all pointing out today. Won his last 2 Bassmaster outings. I mean, he's going to be disappointed if he doesn't win this one. He's put himself in a perfect position. 2nd place right behind Cliff Crochet. Jesse Wiggins from Cullman, Alabama, a place that has put a lot of people out on this Elite Series.
Exactly right. And your leader from Louisiana, he is leading the Rapala 4 Live today. 19 pounds and 7 ounces, just won Central Open. And here's the amazing thing. If you look at the top 4 anglers right now, 3 of them are fishing the exact same technique, almost the exact same depth, except for your leader, Cliff Crochet, who's running up the lake, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, looking for the muddiest water he can find. And I asked him, I said, for catching 20 pounds yesterday, did you have a really solid practice? I caught 5.
All in practice.
In practice.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Well, that's the way it always works out. Somebody really knocks it out of the park on the first day, and half the time they haven't done anything in practice. Still looking at our guys getting ready to go. The field's on their way now. Part of them are headed out to where they're going to fish. We're just getting started here.
And hey, if you really look at this lake right now and what was weighed in yesterday, that was a heck of a weigh-in yesterday. The average catch for the top 30 was drastically more than we had thought.
Than was predicted.
Exactly.
14 pounds, some people said. 15 pounds was leading.
Now, here's the other side of that, is last year on this lake, and Ott Defoe said this, if you had, now get ready for this, Such, 16 to 18 pounds this time of year last year, you did not even weigh your fish in. In a local tournament, if you had hovered around 17 pounds, don't even go to the scale. There were so many 19 to 22 pound smallmouth limits last year. And I asked him, I said, okay, I get that, and I get how good it was last year. Why are those 20 to 23 pound bags not coming in? And he said, look, the smallmouth are just weighing a lot lighter right now, okay? This lake, what's really strange about this lake for being kind of mid-centrally located, not being up north, we have an enormous alewife population in all of our lakes up north. This lake has the exact same thing. It has alewives in here, and he said, the depth in which the alewives are living right now in this lake, where all of that forage is at, is from 60 to 100 feet of water. The depth where a lot of the smallmouth population is at right now is 20 to 50 feet of water. He said, look, I guarantee you the biggest smallmouth in this lake are out there with that forage.
Bottom
and
of the channel. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And the other side of this is, he said, when all that bait came shallower last year in that 20 to 40 foot zone, he said, all of these 3 1/4 pound fish that we got to see at the weigh-in yesterday, those fish had an extra 3/4 of a pound on them last year from all of that food.
Did you see what the Breakfast of Champions is right there?
I did not.
Classic champ, angler of the year, Davy Hite, eating the sausage egg biscuit.
Well, I can tell you that he has fit right in with the crew on his first day of work today.
He is doing his very best to seamlessly mesh in with the broadcast crew here.
Keep your calories up in those temperatures. 21 degrees out there.
Take you all the way to fishing, getting started here. We're riding out with our guys. We're seeing some great pictures. That's an encouraging sign right there as we look at Brian Snowden getting sort of uncuffed and ready to go on this day. A big day ahead for him and for everyone else here. You got to make the cut. You got to make the top 51 if you're going to go on to Saturday, as Dave Mercer mentioned here. You're going to be rolling out a lot more information about, and you just did, about the alewife. There's not a herring lake.
Yes.
It's an alewife lake, which makes it different from the Hartwells, the Clarks Hills, and other places you'd think would be similar to this.
Which a lot of you locals, you know the technique that we're going to talk about today. But if you are not a Cherokee Lake, East Tennessee stud, we will break down this technique that the majority of your top 20 is catching them on.
We got the baits here. You got them in hand. We're going to take a look at all that later on. Brian Snowden, 4th place.
Oh, there you go.
18 pounds yesterday.
There it is.
You're looking at it right there.
This is D-Fluke. Trimmed it down just a little bit. The bait here seems to be real small. Unfortunately, I like to drop shot these a lot too, but it's been real tight to the bottom. So the lead head, we got a 3/8 ounce lead head with a nice little number 2 hook in there. Pretty small profile bait, but it mimics the shad that these smallmouth are feeding on. And unfortunately, they're kind of finicky. You got to really let it sit there, barely shake it, keep it real tight to the bottom, very little movement, just a little bit with the rod tip, and then hold it for 20, 30 seconds, and that's usually when the bite occurs.
Snowden already fishing here. We'll be with him. He's one of our 4, a raffle of 4 all day. The rest of the guys, the field's still in the process of takeoff. You can see underway right there.
And if you really looked at the bass track yesterday, this is just like the cold water classics that we've covered. Look for a very, very early 2.5 hour bite window, and then a little bit of that lull, typical wintertime, and then another spike that generally happens after lunch. So hopefully our timing on Bassmaster Live today will be flawless, because that any wintertime classic, especially remember Hartwell, there is an early morning
right
gig,
off the bat,
and there is a late day bite.
Yeah, that's something we haven't rolled out for you. That's different this year. We're going to be, as we obviously starting a whole lot earlier, starting at 7 a.m. Eastern time, right at takeoff time. We're going to go for 3 hours.
Okay.
We'll take an 1.5 hour break right in the middle, which should coincide with that lull. I mean, ideally, that we get not just at these early, but just about every other tournament, or every tournament, we get a lull about that time. We'll pick it up after 1.5 hours and take it for 3 more hours, almost to check-in time.
We already got one comment on our, what is it, hashtag Bass Live? Is that what it is?
Hashtag Bass Live.
I want to see fish catches.
Several comments.
Where did that come from?
I made it up.
What?
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
not right.
You
You have
didn't
no
see
access to
that.
it.
Sorry.
They don't give us access
Sorry.
to that. How did you get that? Brian Snowden again on the left. Brian Snowden from Table Rock, Springfield, Missouri. One of the
Motor on 50 to 60% to hold still, and today it's completely calm. You know, this deep fishing is real critical. Boat position is always the important thing. What we're fishing here is just a long tapering point that comes off actually of an island, and you know, we're quite a ways off the bank, 150, 200 yards from the closest land, and the key to deep fishing is always boat position. So I try and maintain as slow as possible, which allows you to keep that bait vertical right in the strike zone over those fish as long as you can. And anytime you know those fish are deeper than 30 feet, I believe the best way to catch them is vertical.
Oh, I know what that music means.
what? What does it mean? Oh, you're right. Now I remember. We're going to take a break. What a great first half hour. And actually, we got to see a little fishing.
Tommy, I'm not going to lie. I think you and I have seen 400 takeoffs, but that was
neat.
That was cool.
We got the best parts of it all cut together for you. We'll be back with more of Bassmaster Live.
Humminbird, Mercury, Minn Kota, and by Nitro Boats. Continually proven on the tournament trail, and with Skeeter owners everywhere, with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy Save Fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy Save Fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Gerald Swindle. Trip includes airfare, rental car, hotel, and $500 cash. Plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat, Mercury engine, and Gerald's gear from Humminbird, Minn Kota, GoPro, and more. You, the winner of a valuable prize? Could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
Right in the middle of Bassmaster Live, the start of the day, day 2, Cherokee Lake event number 1 of 8 regular season events on the Bassmaster Elite Series. We are out on the water. Some of our anglers already fishing, some of them still running to their spots there, and some of them have yet to take off. But we're going to get all that wrapped up very quickly here and have full action. We're following Apollo 4 live today, and we'll be taking a look at all of our leaders.
One of our leaders right there, Jesse Wiggins from Alabama, he's the one we're really going to keep an eye on early this morning for the simple fact that the bulk of his weight on day number 1, he caught in the first hour to hour and a half. Said he left the area for the simple reason, one of the few deep water anglers in this tournament that does not have a lot of company. Bassmaster
Live. Spent a lot of time guarding this spot, he said, just kind of keeping watch over it. But you're right, it was an early thing for him, so we have full expectation of some fish catching on the way here. Bassmaster Live for the next, well, we got 5.5 more hours coming. It's split up a little bit, and we'll keep reminding you how we do that, work our times today. Again, you see the rest of our field, 110 of them taking off today, including 11 rookies. And Jesse, go ahead.
Heard a lot of anglers talking at our launch this morning about the change in weather today. Tommy, that is going to be the TH Marine Weather Watch for the day. And really, here's the biggest difference today. Snowden already talking about it as he gets to his first spot. Really, if you look at that wind today and the high, don't get me wrong, 55 degrees today and sunny. Yesterday, it was gassing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was KVD weather. Put a jerkbait and a crankbait in your hand and go. That is not going to be the case today. Will that help these deep water guys that are able to be more precise?
Good question.
Snowden said, boy, he liked that wind yesterday. He said he felt that breakup on the surface made them bite better. But looking at that right there, the angler that seemed the most concerned about that was your leader, Cliff Crochet. He said, look, it was a largemouth day on day number 1, windy, cloudy, nasty. He really, last night, from all of the anglers that I spoke to, was the most concerned with this typical post front right now.
Well, it'll be windy, cloudy, rainy, nasty on Sunday. Cliff Crochet's got to concentrate on getting there. Only 12 are going to make it to Sunday. As we look at these incredible views of this lake, so different from Douglas, just 20 miles away, a featureless sort of lake. This place has got all, and here we go, fish on. This is live. Jesse Wiggins.
Gagging on that little fluke this morning. Just stay out there. You can see where it drops. Just stay on that side of where it drops in. If that's okay with you. You can come, I don't care if you stay on the bank either, that's fine too. I'm just fishing in the middle. Yes. Didn't see that fish on the depth finder. I just seen some bait and I dropped to it yesterday. Yeah. And seen some bait and I just dropped to it. And I did that yesterday when they're feeding. You can do that.
Just like you said, you drop that in that bait.
Yeah. Sorry, I know. I have to land them back there because it's lower to the water, and I'm fat and clumsy, and it's a lot easier for me.
I'm very light and agile. I bounce around here like a truck.
Good deal.
And that's a lie.
Hey, if I catch a few more like that, I'll be bouncing around like a 12-year-old.
Like a young grape.
There's one. This could be one right here. Eat it. He's looking at it, I think. He's fishing bite it. I think. Come on now. I'll get him right here. You can get up here if you want to show him the depth finder. That's the bait. Is it? Make it light up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm good.
There we go. You got the bait and you got fish coming up. The ones on the bottom is the ones that's the easiest to catch. Yeah. Dang, I would have caught one right there. God, I need to do that a few more times today.
Four more times.
You daggum right, buddy.
You ever fished here before?
No, I haven't been on this. Well, I come up here in pre-practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first time. Yes, sir.
Spent a lot of time on Gunnersville.
Smith Lake's my home lake.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, right below Gunnersville. Fish Pickwick a lot.
Yeah.
Gunnersville. I fish Gunnersville some. I don't catch them that good out there. So Smith's my favorite because I know I can always catch some. If I'm not practicing for a tournament, I want to go catch them.
Right. You kind of want to catch them in a tournament too, don't you?
You daggum right. God, look at that. Nice.
cold this morning. Jesse Wiggins off to
I'm
a
gonna tell
great
you.
start. He's got himself a 3-pound lead.
That
in
young
this
man
tournament
is
right
salty.
now. Ooh.
He's very solid.
You talk about a fishing lesson everyone just got right there. So many people for the first time have gotten to see this, you know, that kind of fishing live. You learn a lot by watching him.
One person that is definitely going to be fishing the exact same way as Jesse Wiggins was. Look at Seth Fighter right here fishing almost an identical style bait. We're going to get into that as soon as we get a little time out on how these guys are catching them, but all vertical. Seth Fighter said he had a miserable pre-practice here. Things came together during official practice this week. Seth Fighter, Bassmaster.
Live. You know, Seth Fighter had a tremendous end to his season last year. Came from back in the pack to finish second place in the final regular season tournament on the Upper Mississippi, and then won. Actually was the champion fisherman at our Angler of the Year championship.
Went full-blown superstar in like a week.
Yeah, in the space of a week.
I had one bite and I missed it, so not starting off good. I did the same thing yesterday morning though. A lot of people said they caught them really good in the morning, but my fish didn't actually bite that good for me in the morning. Missed a lot of fish, and as the day went on, they actually ate it better for me. But just gonna bounce around all these holes we got, and timing seems to be real important. Like you pull up on one of them and see the fish down there and can't get any of them to bite, and come back an hour later and catch every one of them you see. So just hopefully be at the right place at the right time a couple times today, and you can get right in a hurry when it's going. When it ain't, it's just like beating your head against the wall. But I know a couple times throughout the day they're gonna bite.
I almost felt like I was looking at a young Alan Jackson right there.
You sent me a picture to that effect, a side-by-side. Yeah, you need to send that to everybody.
Tighten up, it's too early for that.
I think we can put that on the air,
I can't start this early in the season.
I think we can get that going to the people.
We'll see.
Send that to the truck.
We'll see.
Seth Fighter, third place to start this day. Fourth place, we started with Brian Snowden, the first out to get fishing among our top four. A raffle of 4 live. This is moments ago.
Now he wants to go back this way. Gotta love smallmouth. The 6-pound line, you just gotta wait. Unfortunately, he's came on the wrong side. Due to that, that wasn't a very skillful landing. That's number one. Not a huge one. We'll take him. I'm sure that's 15. Yeah. I went through 3 pairs of gloves yesterday having to get in there and get them. It'd be freezing cold. But I'll take that any day. Now see, they're acting, they're moving around.
Back now live, Brian Snowden got one now in the box, as you saw.
Port side landing, and the fish decided a starboard side. Hopefully there was nothing valuable in your bag.
Well, I'd love to hear the similarities of Table Rock to this lake with Brian. He's guided at Table Rock for 15 years. I'd really like to hear if he's catching them at Table Rock the same way right now.
That'd be a good question.
There's one. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll catch this guy real quick and we can talk about it. He's right there moving around. You know, I fished here one time, and it was in the summertime for an event. It was much higher, flooded in the willow bushes and everything, but it's got similar characteristics to Table Rock with the deep structure, lots of humps, long points that run out and drop into the channel, which is similar to Table Rock. The main difference is here, you don't have the submerged timber like you do at Table Rock. See, at Table Rock would be fishing a lot of deep trees out in where the top of the tree was in 50, 60 foot, and you'd be fishing over the top of those. But you can also still deep fish on long tapering points just like this. So, you know, that's what I was looking for, was those long points that kind of got close to the main channel. And here, a little bit more clay, not just, you know, complete rock, but they do have lots of little rock piles out on those points. And so that's what I would look for. I would spend most of my day, each day, idling. You know, I'd probably fish 4 hours out of a 8-9 hour day, and the rest of the time was idling, looking for just small little patches of those rocks out on those points. And you could see them on your structure scan. If you looked real close, you'd see little white specks over the top of those rocks. And that are these smallmouth that, you know, that's where they're laying. And some of the better places, like this one's got real sparse rock, where there's 4 or 5 rocks here, and then 200 or 300 yards, there's another 3 or 4 rocks. And that seemed to be where you got bites, and the most concentration of the fish were right before it dropped off into that 50, 60 foot of water. Good. I'm gonna have to give you a little lesson here. Go ahead and get this over with. Yep. Now when you guys catch these fish out deep, anytime you're over 25 feet, you can see he's kind of puffed up here. If you just lay his fin down, go about 3 to 4 scales back, you can hear that air come out. All we did was inserted a small needle into his air bladder, release the pressure from him being deeper than up here, and he will be good to go all day.
Well, there you go. So some valuable stuff there from Brian Snowden, maintaining his spot there in their top 4. We'll be with him all day long. Time for a Yamaha Taste the Bait. You came prepared today, loaded for bear, in fact.
Luckily,
yes.
Because it was a big secret, or not. Coming into this tournament, everybody really, and this is a total East Tennessee deal, not just on Cherokee, but a lot of the other Clearwater lakes around there. Is guys were talking about the Damiki Rig, and the reason it's called the Damiki Rig is I believe it's called the Damiki Armor Shad, just a small fluke-style bait, soft plastic trailers. You see, you looked at Wiggins, you looked at Snowden, you looked at Fighter, all of them doing the exact same thing, and they're basically just small plastic shad-style baits. But really the big key is in the jig head of this bait, okay? If you look at that jig head right there, and they're using 6-pound line, number one, they're not using very, very, very light jig heads. They're using 3/8, half ounce to get it down there, let it stay there. But the number one key to this bait, to this system, is the line tie. Okay, it's not a 60 degree, it's a 90 degree line tie. And the main reason why is for fishing it vertical, it's going to sit just like this instead of like this, okay? So it's the 90-degree line tie, and you can go through the list of baits, whether it's the Damiki Armor Shad, a Zoom Fluke, and really another one is the Yamamoto Crosstail Shad. It's just, but here's the main thing, not longer than 3 1/4 inches. If you look at these little guys right here, 3 inches max seems to be the key. The other side of it, pairing it with 6-pound line. That is a huge deal, and a very, very light wire hook. The reason for that light wire hook, when you get that bait down there with that light line, that hook is gonna penetrate a lot better than a 3/8 ounce with some big gaff. But anyway, the Damiki Rig, a lot of different trailers that we're gonna see, and not all of them are throwing that Damiki Armor Shad, but any small fluke style bait, that's the gig.
Fantastic. We've never been checked out that early on the predominant bait. In fact, we can add to it. We can expand on that. Brian Snowden got with us a little bit earlier and told us some more facts about this particular setup.
We've been dropping stuff like this. For some reason, back home we use a lot of this. Little fluke, mimics the bait fish. This is the fluke. Trimmed it down just a little bit. The bait here seems to be real small. Unfortunately, I like to drop shot these a lot too, but it's been real tight to the bottom. So the lead head, we got a 3/8 ounce lead head with a nice little number 2 hook in there. Pretty small profile bait, but it mimics the shad that these smallmouth are feeding on. We don't have to worry about getting in them like we do at Table Rock, so we can just leave this exposed. Table Rock, it's real critical watching your depth. Make sure you stay out of those trees, just so you got to stay right on top of them, maybe just a foot or 2 in. But if you get too deep, then you have the problem of getting hung up all the time. So we'll still use a drop shot a lot there. And for some reason, they're so tight to the bottom here, I haven't been able to get them on a drop shot. But normally that would be one of my first choices to deep fish with, because, you know, you can rig at Texas, you can fish it in and out of brush piles, submerged timber, and then works great on these open points with rock as well.
You see the proximity to the dam, very close to the dam there for Brian Snowden, and some success already this morning. Definitely has a game plan, no doubt about that. We're going back to another guy who's had even bigger success this morning. Really nice opening fish for Jesse Wiggins. It's just moments ago.
Look at how he dead sticks it. No action.
Got him. Don't think he'll keep. Matter of fact, I know he won't.
Inches a limit for large and smallmouth, 12-inch limit for spotted or Kentucky bass.
I guess that's one thing that we should have got into. If you notice, Fighter was really, really working that bait compared to the majority of our anglers, and even shows that I've seen on this, like the predominant amount is getting it down there about a foot off the bottom and completely dead sticking it. Completely dead sticking it.
Uh-oh. They're just nipping at it or something. And I got a...
Got a limit already. Jason Williamson has got 6 fish, 12.5 pounds.
Kyle Jesse, Bass Nation, would Zona write us an excuse or to miss class? And Tommy would be a cool guy.
How about a great grandpa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or an ancestor.
Want to know the water temp of the lake. Basically ranging from 44 all the way up to 50 degrees has been the most, the warmest, but generally right around that 44 to 47.
Fan of the Bass Cam right there.
I agree with that statement right there. You can expect a wildly fluctuating leaderboard today. A lot of times we have a stable leaderboard. I do not think that's going to be the case in this tournament.
How about Jason Williamson, 12 pounds?
Exactly.
There's an indication of that. On top,
Tommy,
with a substantial lead.
This is hard for me to do, Such, but I'm going to do it.
Do it.
Fighter is always, he's my guy. Remember?
You bet.
At Mille Lacs?
You bet.
He was my guy the entire event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you who my guy is this event.
Who's Jesse Wiggins?
Jesse Wiggins.
Say that again?
Wiggins.
Okay.
I really struggle with my ends.
I know. I noticed lately.
Wiggins. He's my guy this tournament.
Like that. You can have a different guy every tournament.
I
That's
did
cool.
get into, as you look at Jesse Wiggins on the right side of your screen, I said, Jesse, you've had an unbelievable 12-month span, winning 2 Opens. But I got into Jesse Wiggins' personal life, too.
You did?
I said, Jesse, tell me about the lady friend situation.
So?
Don't have one.
Aha.
Looking for one, potentially. Maybe a dentist, a doctor to fund his fishing.
You see?
In case she's watching right
He
now.
did
always
not
works
say
out.
that.
That works out good.
That's a joke. Scolded joke.
We'll follow that during the season.
Yeah,
He's
it's
hooked
a
up
good-
live. Is Jesse Wiggins?
Oh, it's a good. If I don't lose it, I can't get my hands on it.
Strong.
Number 2, 3-pounder. One more and I'm gonna make me about 10,000. Thank you, sir. It's just, yesterday I already had a limit at this time. Really? But it was it was perfect, perfect weather. I had a feeling it was gonna be a little finicky today. I'm taking it, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact. I am not complaining, I promise. I am not complaining. I'll take one bite an hour. Yeah, really. I mean, that's good fishing. Yeah. So. Man, that light line, you cannot take any chances.
Back live to Jesse Wiggins. Said one more and he's going to make the. I would submit he's already made the cut.
Yeah. Probably need to start focusing on bigger and better things come the weekend.
No doubt.
Very, very impressive.
We're on this guy all day long. 6 hours of Bassmaster Live during the course of this second day of competition, Cherokee Lake.
And I want to break down when we come back with him the connection of Smith Lake and Cherokee.
Very good. We've got a lot more to come on Bassmaster Live. Of course, Jesse Wiggins, one of his open wins on Smith Lake there. That's his home lake. Coleman, Alabama is his home. It's the Lee brothers, who are doing very well in this tournament, are also from there. So a lot of connections here. Be with him, I say again, all day long. Got a big day of Bassmaster Live ahead, and we're just getting started.
Jesse Wiggins, Bassmaster Live.
In a world where boring, soundless lures were the norm, comes a lure unlike any other. The fish-catching machine. Livingston Lures are the only lures featuring electronic baitfish sounds that call the fish. Tie one on today and experience the power of the fish-catching machine.
The competition is fierce and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package, including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The classic and each individual elite event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 Black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at Bassmasterfantasy.com.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Out of office? Oh, man. Hi, this is Skeet.
Skeet, out of office?
Dude, don't be mad because I thought of it.
What?
I gotta go. I got someone on the other line. Go to teamgtfishing.com to check out my real job.
We're supposed to be working!
I am working!
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Jesse Wiggins, that was moments ago, his second fish of the day. 2 good fish in the box for Jesse Wiggins, who started this day. Less than half a pound behind the leader, Cliff Crochet, Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake. First event of this 2017 season for the full field. 2 events we have before the Classic. Sort of a different sort of year for these guys, a different way to get going. But you got to get going in this tournament. You can't afford to have a single washout day. You got to try all day long. Jesse Wiggins probably already made his cut to the 51. Will fish tomorrow. All looking to make it to the final day. 12 anglers, $100,000 top points to the winner. Glad you're with us here. Look here now. $2.
Yep. Oh, it's a big one. You come back here. Don't hit the boat. Biggest one yet. Yeah, he did. Took him a while. Another 3-pounder, number 3. Wait, I know. I guess live hasn't started yet, has it?
Nope.
Oh, it has?
Yeah. Can't wait for it
That's
to
for
start.
you, Jordy. I know you're watching.
Wait, now who?
My brother. Right. He would love to be out here right now. Right. He's at home taking care of a family, but I get to kind of live both of our dreams.
Older brother, younger brother?
He's a year younger than I am. A year and a half. That's number 3. Gotta have 2 more that size and we'll be all right. I think I just won 10,000 though. I ain't never got to say that before. God, I'm happy. I just won 10,000 if I get back to the boat ramp.
And I had heard his brother, Jordan,
yeah,
is another
We're gonna try to make a little
Alabama
bit more
stud.
No,
really?
Fisherman. Yes, yes, yes,
Another
sir.
Smith Lake
oh, yeah.
cold-blooded
There
killer.
they are. This could be one right here.
Back live now, Jesse Wiggins. Suit, you got some background on this guy.
Yeah, we got a story a couple
fascinated by
years
it.
ago where Jesse said his brother was a better angler than him.
There you go.
Look here now.
Oh my goodness. It's a monster. Or another good one. That's a good one there. That's the biggest one yet. Come here, buddy. Number 4 this morning. They biting a little bit now. Another 3-pounder.
They're all cloned.
That's the way it was yesterday. I could call my shot, I could see him, and I'd be like, yep, I'm fixing to catch him. That's the way exactly how it was yesterday.
How many fish did you catch all together?
I probably caught total all day long, probably 15 to 20. But I didn't, from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, I just sat out there where that boat is and just protected this spot because I knew how good it could be if it stayed the same. And there's just as many here today as there was yesterday. I just don't know how good they're gonna bite with our sun, but yeah. 12 pounds. What's wrong?
Everything I try to do.
You need a phone? You can use my phone. No. I mean, I didn't know if it wouldn't work in there.
What does it do?
Yeah, you can notice if you're looking at Bass Track, there's a little bit of discrepancy than what you see on our unofficial weights right there. The phone entries for Jesse's catches so far haven't made it onto the Bass Track leaderboard, but that's pretty accurate right there. We'd say he's got 12, 13 pounds in the boat right now with 4 fish for Jesse Wiggins. We're going to leave Jesse Wiggins go to our 3rd place guy to start. Second day of competition, Seth Fighter. And like you said, just shaking that thing constantly. Very different.
I'd like to ask Fighter, if we can today, at some time, how his life has changed since the last 2 Elite Series events last year. Drastically, I would think.
You made a good point that had not occurred to me. He did all that in the space of a week and a couple of days.
10 days. Bought a house at Mille Lacs, I had heard.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Going to Mille Lacs again this year. Came out. How about that? You like
he had
that?
invited you, just FYI, to a bonfire.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's big into that.
Okay.
He's got to qualify for it, though.
Exactly.
He's on his way.
There you go. Put the cart before the horse. Guys moving up the board, Jason Williamson, Jamie Hartman.
The other thing is, gang, if you're watching this at home, you see Fighter and Snowden way more Main Lake oriented compared to Wiggins, who's almost looks like he's on secondary stuff, more of a pocket situation.
You mentioned it earlier, and it's been mentioned all week here. There really are 2 lakes here. I mean, one's
2 lakes.
One's a lake, one's a river.
And unfortunately, if you're wondering why we are not with Cliff Crochet, he is running way up the river. And when he does get in good cell range, we'll get with him.
Leader to start the day with 19 pounds and 6 ounces, day number 1. 7 ounces.
But it is desolate up there.
Is what? No. If you're looking for this place on the map, just look east and a little north of Knoxville, Tennessee. It's on the Holston River.
And the other side, just so, and the way these guys are catching them on these Damiki Rig style deals here. It's not like these guys came here and figured this out.
That's a deal here.
It is the deal coming to this place. Like I said, there has been fishing shows shot on it here. It just happens on these clear water lakes throughout East Tennessee.
Rock. About an hour since takeoff began. 8:15 Eastern time. Got lots more fishing left to go this day. Some big days already underway for
freaking staring at it.
One of our anglers, and more than one actually, when you look at the leaderboard.
Taking a look over the shoulder of Seth Fighter. Looks like Adrian Avina.
Guys are going to fish until about 3:15 today. That's check-in time. Actually, the weigh-in starts at 3:15. They'll fish till shortly before 3 o'clock. Tomorrow, they're going to haul everything back to the convention center, downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. Big-time stuff for the weigh-in both Saturday and Sunday.
There's a big crowd in that area.
It's crawling with them now.
You got Jacob Wheeler. I don't know who's in the Costa boat. Adrian Avina.
Who?
Wow, look at that. See if I can't come in here and get some hot apple pie.
It's easy.
Jamie Hartman with his fourth fish.
Jamie Hartman, a big New York angler, guys. He's done very well on the northern Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Opens.
He's almost to 11 pounds and might take the lead real soon.
As we say, Cliff Crochet, long run, going way up that river, that other part of this reservoir that we're talking about, very much a river environment, and Cliff Crochet is there. Now we understand. We may have some pictures coming across from him right there. And
here we go.
Triton on the line. We maybe get to talk to Cliff for just a little bit here. Cliff, you made it to what's the plan right now? You got it to yourself, right?
Yeah, everything looks right, and now the deal is just to fish and grind and get a couple bites.
A little bit calmer today, a little bit laid down. Mark Zona mentioned that's in the back of your mind. It's got to be if you're looking to catch these largemouth again today, right?
Yeah, the big deal is I think is to get through the morning. If you can get through the morning, things should get better after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or so.
Cliff, you're one of the only anglers, and we'll be relatively quick about this, but you're one of the only anglers that you be the only angler that said, I want the muddiest water I can find.
I hope it rains a couple inches. I wish it'd start raining. If it would warm up and rain, that would be perfect for me. That muddy water, the muddier water seems to be a little warmer. 1 and 2, I think it scares people away, so rain wouldn't hurt me right now. I wish I could find a whole bunch of more muddy water.
So many anglers came into this tournament with a long, rich pre-practice. A lot of guys spent 2 to 3 weeks here. You made the comment, there was no way you were coming here to pre-practice. Talk about it, Brent.
No, it was no pre-practice for this tournament. One is about 12 hours from the house. It's a little far from me, and it was cold. And I knew what it would be. It'd be rocks and clear water, and I don't enjoy fishing that. So I thought if I came in pre-practice and had to fish that way, it would just give me a negative attitude. So I figured I'd come excited for the first one and fish this stuff even though I didn't want to. Limited time on this lake was good for me.
Sounds like you made the right call. Cliff Crochet, congratulations on a great day one. Got to keep it up. Of course, make the cut, make it all the way. Hope we get to talk to you on Sunday, man.
Appreciate it. Slow and steady grind. Hopefully we can make it to Sunday.
So that's going to be our Trident on the line moment there with our leader to start the day, the Cajun baby, Cliff Crochet.
Exactly right. And not going to get into specifics of the crankbait that he's using. It's a shallow running crankbait. It was used last year at the Classic at Grand Lake, a typical cold water shallow crankbait. Get into that a little bit later. The key, he said, was stop and go. But let's just see if we can't slide back with Jesse Wiggins. And this was moments ago with Jesse Wiggins with 4 fish in his boat.
Oh, it feels like a big one. It is a big one. I'll come right where you're standing. You're good. All right. Oh, Landon, I got him.
Well,
I got him.
Don't lose him for it.
We're good.
Sago will sure appreciate you. Nice fish. Same cookie cutter.
Cookie cutter 3-pounders. Yes! Woo! That's number 5. Another 3-pounder. A gagging on that fluke this morning, boys.
Now you got
Now
to start working, huh?
Now we get to do some culling. If we fish anymore, we may not fish a whole lot more on this spot. I want to hear some clapping. All right, this is the first time I've ever got to catch them. Come on. Thank you. I got one guy that cares.
Back to Jesse Wiggins live, picking up a few followers, I'm thinking, is Mr. Wiggins during the course of this morning. He's fun to watch.
I started idling, trying to find something new, and I idled pretty much at least half the day on all 3 days of practice, and then the last day, I probably idled 3/4 of the day. And at 1 o'clock Wednesday, I idled this little hole, and man, it just lit up. Thank you, sir. It just lit up, and it's just been, I made one drop on it practice. Oh, that may coil. Yeah, that in the coil. Oh, good gracious. That's a good one right there, boys. Boom! Hey! That's gonna be close to 4 there, boys. You'll see it. Cheesing ear to ear with that one. Alright, I got 6, so I gotta get rid of one.
Did you see his bail snap open when he said that? Boy, you better remember his name for the next few years on the Elite Series.
I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. I think he's going to be hanging around, don't you?
Just saying, Mike.
We got some great maps online. You look at our maps of the lake now, you get that. It's fantastic.
Exactly right. If you kind of, I'm going to need, if you look at it, really just on a long tapering point, and I believe if we can pan that out, behind a lot of the islands off the main lake. So he's not actually he's not on a main lake pocket back in. He's actually on the backside of one of those islands. We pan that out just a hair more. Yeah, so he's very, very, very close. Well, he's on the main lake. And the other thing is you heard him make the comment where he's sitting that he protected that area the majority of the day yesterday. That gets a good look exactly of the area that he's fishing. The other side is what I'd like to ask him while he's culling. So many anglers are concentrating on small veins of rock on these slow tapering points, and that's what he's on. He's just on a deeper flat. What his bottom composition is compared to the other guys that are really hunting rock, and is that not what is on the bottom there? But you see how it's not one of those vertical, steep, bluffy style deals. It's looking at that mapping right there, it's a real slow taper, and you could see that from the bank.
Yeah, you could see the bank behind him very well since we're way down. We're at the bottom of the winter pool here on this lake. You can see so many of the features. You can learn a lot just watching what's going on the bank behind these guys. Working hard, got his first cull of the day going on now to get down to 5 fish in the live well. And about 15 pounds in the boat for Jesse Wiggins so far.
He's got all of 15, right?
Yeah. Not even 2 hours into this fishing day, and he spent so much of his time yesterday just sort of watching this place, sort of guarding it a little bit. Maybe that's what he's got coming up today. I'd hate to see him stop fishing. It's been too good so far.
Wow.
That's the way to do it.
Well, maybe we can get a phoner with him later this morning.
Yeah,
right?
ask him that question. I would like to hear him answer that question about what's on the bottom.
Sounds like he might take a little time out pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we'll have plenty of time to talk to Jesse Wiggins. It should be good. Let's get back all the way up into the river part of this reservoir. Cliff Crochet still looking for his first bite of the day. All largemouth for him yesterday.
Boy, it looks like he's in another tournament.
I got small on me, but not a bad deal. It was just like yesterday. Hit a rock, paused it, and he bit it. You reach him when you measuring it. You reach him when you're weighing 13.5 inches, but I've seen fish I knew for sure wouldn't measure. You put them on a board and they make it by a 1/4 inch, so just measure them all.
Yeah.
So welcome back live. In case you missed it, I just caught 2 sharks. Not keepers, but 2 bites. Get the juices flowing a little bit.
We're also going to break down with Crochet what he was
That
looking
could be
for
one. Right there.
up the lake.
Off the edge of that tree.
But main thing is keep your eye on that bank and every bank and the slope of it that he's fishing today.
Do you have any idea? Did you know at all that it was time for Dick Seapeck trivia?
Tommy, I can tell you one thing, I haven't been fed yet, so I thought it was coming.
It's here. Believe it or not, it's here. And here we go. For you and everyone, which anglers have not won an Elite Series season opener among these 4s? Among these 4 anglers, John Cruz, Kevin Van Dam, Jason Williamson, and Mike McClellan. I think we've given away Mike McClellan, but which one has not won a season opener? That's
first event of the year.
At the first event of the year. All but one of these guys has won the first event of the year. We'll be back in a little bit. We'll have Bassmaster Live on the way, and we'll have your trivia answer when we return to Bassmaster Live.
Continually proven on the tournament trail and with Skeeter owners everywhere with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy, save, fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy, save, fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
If you love bass fishing, then show your support by joining B.A.S.S today. Since 1968, B.A.S.S has been serving bass fishing enthusiasts with information and tournament coverage that make you a better angler. When you sign up today, you'll join over 500,000 outdoorsmen who love bass fishing. With your membership, you'll receive every issue of Bassmaster magazine, plus $50 in free gear, including a membership tackle bag, B.A.S.S cap, plus more. Log on to Bassmaster.com to join Bass today.
Woo! Thank you, Jesus! Big one, big one. Yes! Yes! Yeah! Yes! Yeah, boys! All stay on there! Yeah! That's what we after right there, boys.
31 pounds, 7 ounces! The legendary Mr. Rick Clun knocks the lights out! Ricky Clun gets it done! From Lake Wiley, South Carolina, Britt Meyer! 5 pounds, 13 ounces! Britt Meyer smashes him in front of his hometown crowd! Your champion, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear it for Randall Thurm. 16 pounds and 2 ounces. The Honey Badger hammers him on Championship Sunday. Get loud for Takahiro Amore. 16 pounds, 10 ounces. Takahiro Amore, your champion from Kalamazoo, Michigan. KVD, Kevin Van Dam. 21 pounds, 6 ounces. KVD gets it done with win number 21. The Hack Attack whacks him on Championship Sunday. Your champion, Greg Hackney. 12 pounds, 10 ounces. KVD gets it done. 19 pounds, 13 ounces. Justin Lucas lays the lugger to the Potomac River. 12 pounds and an ounce. Defoe is an Elite Series champion. Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. The G-Man gets it done and finishes in spot number 1.
Fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkley.
Day number 2 on Cherokee Lake, just barely getting underway, an hour to 15 minutes into this day. But already we have seen some big-time stuff from the likes of this fella, starting today in second place, Jesse Wiggins. Coleman, Alabama, 5 fish in the boat right now, 15
What a
pounds.
show.
Ooh,
A
man.
show.
We hit the jackpot. We hit the jackpot this morning.
But there he is.
Remember that trivia question? Have you sorted it out
I
yet?
think so, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Hold up real quick. Which anglers have not won an Elite Series season opener? Here's where I went with this. You ready?
Okay.
Mike McClellan, Harris Chain.
He did.
Jason Williamson, Amistad.
Yep.
John Cruz, Delta.
Was that the first event of the season?
I believe it was.
I guess you're right. I
Wow.
guess you're right.
You nailed it.
So KVD, the only guy who has not won. Oh, well done. Well played. The first winner of the Dick CPAC Trivia Contest of 2017 is Mark Zona from Michigan.
That'll be the only one that I get.
Tell him what he's won.
Very nice. Nicely done. And Kevin Van Dam, by the way, we're talking about guys with momentum. The elephant in the room is Kevin Van Dam, who won a third of what was available to be won last year.
That's
the
right.
Bassmaster Elite Series.
Kevin Van Dam was busy winning the middle of every season for the last 15
That's right.
years.
Exactly.
He's not far
We're
back.
talking about momentum all morning long, and he's sort of the major force that we're looking at. You're looking at overall momentum season to season.
Taking a look at a double box DB opening day of Bassmaster Live. Seth Fighter, Jesse Wiggins.
Is there an over and under, and when that hat's going to come off? That fur hat for Seth Fighter? Yeah.
Hey, really, if we could get a question out to Seth, I really do want to know that. What in his career has changed? But he was hurting. He was hurting before that Mississippi River tournament last year. You know,
This is make or
highs
break.
and
It was
lows.
make or
This is
break.
Make or break.
Okay.
And has a great tournament at the Mississippi that won. Turns around and really destroys everybody at Mille Lacs. Does not make the Classic.
Right.
But blew that thing away. What that did for him from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no
standpoint.
prize money in that event.
Right. Beautiful trophy.
This year, the winner gets $25,000. How about that? And I would say he's the odds-on favorite to repeat. More than any tournament out here.
By the way, when we do break down picks for the year, for the tournament, if you look at how these guys are fishing, you look at how these guys are catching them, my pick was Aaron Martin's, which I would like to think that all of our #Bass Live viewers would have agreed with me.
Bet you most of them probably did.
3 bass yesterday. And had a incredible practice.
It's a smallmouth, and they're just swimming around down there, and that's the bait that they're relating to. But the bottom's just slick, and them's all smallmouth, and them are all good ones. They just don't they don't bite every single time. You just have to get the ones that's on bottom. I done got the drone now. Come on now. Where we at? Yesterday I caught some on a jig too. Just messing around with a jig and caught a few.
Right.
I might do that in a minute just to catch one on a jig. It's so fun to get the jerk hard instead of doing this sissy stuff. The bad thing is I caught bigger ones on this than I did a jig.
Yeah.
I put the jig on to try to catch a big one and caught freaking small ones. I don't think that was a fish.
Sure you got some fish or bait.
There he is. Right there. Should get bit right there.
Could you see that screen well enough to tell the exact depth where his bait
Looking
was?
at, really looking 25 to 35 feet of water. Really, the bottom appeared as slick as the bottom looked on his graph to be like that clay bank, to where a lot of our other anglers are looking for small veins, small rock piles. This is more just a main lake or a main island gut that they're wintering in. I don't think he's in. Here's what I don't think. I don't think he's in jeopardy of them leaving. I think that if anything, you could end up catching them all.
Well, see, I don't want to hear that because I want to see him fish all day.
I want to see him fish all day long.
Absolutely.
Sting every one of them. Let them know.
Catch them all and go someplace.
Let them know you're here to play. One of the things Crochet said is look at the bank all day long, 45-degree banks, very typical. He's hooked up live right here, Cliff Crochet, Bassmaster.
Live.
Thanks.
That's a brownie.
He did not weigh in one smallmouth yesterday, all largemouth.
I do not discriminate. Black, brown, green, whatever. If he keeps, I don't care what color he is. Yep. That makes me feel a lot better.
You know it's a cold tournament when there's an emergency rope tied to the inside to open the live well.
Your fingers are useless.
Makes you feel a lot better. Just like he's supposed to be, real, stop, and then load up on it. That was, whew. That is, feel the weight come off. Big, that's big. That's first smallmouth I caught. I thought it might have been bigger, but thought it was a big largemouth, but now I would tell you this, that was probably not the best way to fight a fish, but he's in the boat, so. It's amazing what a fish will do to you. It's in the 20s, my hand's soaking wet. I don't feel it.
Now in a couple minutes, I probably won't feel my hand. But for right now, I don't feel nothing. It's all good. 1 down, 4 to go.
What kind of weight you got on that one?
2.5. Look at my power pull. That's what I was looking at. That power pull, I need to tighten it up.
Oh, it's leaning, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be all good. But see, that's the big deal about them 10-footers. I put 10-footers this year.
Yeah.
So I caught that fish I pulled down. Sitting in 6.5 foot of water, 7 foot of water, I could still pull down and then lose nothing.
Tommy, the carpet of his boat looks just like your boat.
No, I cleaned it up. You saw that. You're right. Come on, give me credit. But that's the way it'll be looking pretty soon. Tell us what he meant when he told us this morning.
Say it again.
Ask about the wind. He said, the wind's not gonna, I'm worried about getting through the morning. What did he mean by that?
Okay. Caught me a keeper smallmouth. Found the smallmouth. No. Oh.
A little bit choppy right there, Tommy, but one of the things that really he said with this post-front condition, and that's what, even though it's going to warm up, it's a slow warm-up today. I mean, you could tell it's still in the mid to high 20s here, is he knew that the majority of his action today was going to be later in the day. Jesse Wiggins hooked up again.
Feels like a biggin. It's a bass. Be a bass. Oh, yes. I'm gonna come back there with you again. You're good. If it was Jordy, he would already have it in the boat right now. I'm sitting back here just fooling around with it. It's a good one, 3.5, I think. This one ain't wanting to jump. Oh, baby. Oh, that's what dreams are made out of right there. If I can just get him in the boat. Yes! I squeezed him so hard I popped his gill in. Oh, I don't even know what to say. Speechless, man. Dude, man, it's crazy, man. They're just biggins this morning. Oh, please be right.
Let's say.
I thought I was gonna say 3.3. Still a 5 or half pound upgrade. Had a 212, so. So that puts them all over 3 pounds. All over 3 pounds. What time is it? Oh my gosh. Culling them. Did I have them? No. Let's see. Let me check, make sure. I think I had a 212. Yeah. Don't do anything crazy. $2.15. Yeah, 212.
Let's see if we can get a look at that rig he's using again. Right?
Yeah.
Serious.
Seriously.
It's 2.
That's a story.
3, 4, 5.
Now you know as much as anyone that I've ever heard of about smallmouth behavior.
Call in the morning.
What are the odds
Yes.
of him going back in that place tomorrow and catching one of these fish he culls out today?
I think
Nice
very,
ones.
very good.
Very good. They'll bite again.
I think, yeah, I think still very good. I don't think he's fishing in a place that they're leaving.
Yeah. Okay.
To me, where he's fishing, I guess two things on this is, I think he is in a wintering hole. The other side of it is these fish that he's catching act a heck of a lot more in this lake than like spotted bass, where he grew up on Smith Lake, than a typical smallmouth bass to me. I think that's why you're seeing him really, really, really excel. Which, look, a spotted bass fisherman. If you really look at the history of the Elite Series or other organizations, all spotted bass fishermen seem to perform well on smallmouth tournaments.
Okay.
But the other side of that is this is a reservoir smallmouth. A reservoir smallmouth is a way different creature than a northern smallmouth bass. It's just a way different creature. They act more like spots.
The spots. They're the spots.
Yes, than they do a northern smallmouth. A northern smallmouth will bite your hand off. He's not. Here's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
He isn't that intelligent. A southern smallmouth is
They're not as wild a critter.
It's just a smarter animal.
So what I'm saying is he could go, and if he fishes like this all day, he'll be culling out 16 pounds of fish today. Are those 16 pounds going to be available for him to come in Saturday and Sunday and win this tournament?
I don't know.
Okay.
That I don't know. Hey, here's the thing that I would start to think if I was him. Hey, if there's 10 more 3¼ pound fish in here, I want them for Saturday and Sunday.
There you go. Yeah, good point. Hey, Triton on the line one more time. Davy Hite out there on the water. Davy, who are you with right now? We can't tell.
Well, the sun's come up. It's warming up just a little bit, but it's been warm for these fishermen. They're catching them really, really good. I'm here. Actually, there was like 4 guys that started right here in this depression. There's a lot of islands, and it's for a highland reservoir. It's a flat area, so to speak, because all these islands, and it's a small depression right in here where all these guys found these fish, and they're just going along just like you do up north, using a graph, locating fish. Wheeler just caught one. He said on a place he hadn't caught a fish all week. And they're just looking for these fish that are moving around this depression and dropping straight down on them, catching them.
Hey, Davey, real fast. How many guys are in that area that you're in right there? It looks like there's several boats been kind of hopscotching each other all morning long.
Yeah, they really have. Fighter was here when I first got here, and he just left. And there's like 2 other boats now. It's Wheeler and Avena are the only 2 here right now. One thing that's interesting, he lost all his waypoints sometime last night or this morning. And he said today he has no waypoints on any of his graphs. Wow.
I know you've talked to a bunch of guys since you've been there, Davey. Have they taken different routes to locating these fish, or is it kind of a community knowledge thing? Is where they're traditionally people go to fish out here, or a little bit of everything?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, Tommy. These guys, when they smallmouth fish, when these smallmouth are deeper, I mean, all these guys use their electronics and look for fish, and the traditional places, obviously. But you've got guys like Cliff Crochet, doing something non-traditional. For most of these guys in this area, fish for these smallmouth deep with finesse baits and drop shots and that sort of thing. But they just look for the fish on the graph, and they seem to be moving around quite a bit for it to be wintertime.
Hey, Davey, let's talk about the factor coming into this tournament of localized tournaments on Cherokee last year. We're taking in the 20 to 23 pound range to win with smallmouths. A lot of them said it was a collision last year of forage and smallmouth in that depth zone of 25 to 50 feet of water. The comment that you made on, I believe it was Tuesday, when you were idling around in your own boat out there, a lot of that bait, the alewife in that lake, the shad in that lake, are 70 to 100 feet of water. What's the difference this year in your mind compared to last?
Well, you're exactly right. The first thing I noticed is how deep all the bait is in this lake. And you think because we've had a mild winter, maybe that bait would be shallower, but it's just the opposite. Last year, when they had a more traditional winter, the bait was in the 25 to 30, 35-foot range, and like you said, it was a collision there where the smallmouth wanted to be and felt comfortable and where the bait was. And they were feeding up, they were fat and easier to catch, grouped up tighter. With the colder water that happens, but it's been a mild winter, and believe it or not, the bait is deeper, which doesn't really seem normal, but the bait's deeper and these fish are shallower. The fish aren't as fat, not as healthy looking as they were last year, and they're a little harder to catch because they're scattered around. And just since we've been talking, Jacob Wheeler's probably moved 200 yards. He's looking at his graph trying to find a fish to drop down on and catch.
Davey, thank you so much. Triton on the line with Davy Hite. We'll have plenty more of that throughout our coverage. Bassmaster Live today. We want to get back out on the water. Get out to Seth Fighter right now, and this was moments ago, I believe.
There he is. Stay on, baby. Stay on, baby. I was just about to say this school didn't bite yesterday either. Got him. All right. On the board, dude. On the board. He ain't big, but feels good to turn the wells on. One for 5. Batting 20% now.
Fighter's got his first one in the box. Jesse Wiggins, completely different story, and he's hooked up again.
If I land this one, I'm done.
Oh, I didn't want to hear that.
That's not what we want to
No.
hear.
It was in his contract that he's got to keep fishing through the day.
We'll remind him of that.
Yeah.
Or better yet, you remind him of that.
You are paid to fish, so fish.
Entertain us.
You paying attention?
Okay, after he catches us, though, I do want to ask if we can get a couple questions to him. Oh, my gosh.
Out of call. Oh. I think it'll call. I think it's a 3-pounder. Yep, 1 ounce.
So only gained 1 ounce on that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Third cull of the day for Jesse Wiggins here as we take a look at what he's been up to this morning.
Interesting deal. If you have watched Jesse Wiggins' morning, he made the comment last night when he won the Bassmaster Bass Pro Shops Open a couple weeks ago. He said, look, here's the best way to put it. I found a magic spot down there in Florida, a deep water spot everybody else was ignoring. Made this comment last night. It feels eerily similar that I may have found a very, very similar magical spot.
Wow. I think it's safe to say he is going to be trouble for the rest of this field here throughout this tournament for sure. And maybe all season long if you can catch him at the Harris, change him up here, catch him like that.
That right there, Tommy Sanders, that's a dadgum Alabama stud.
Agreed. We got more Bassmaster Live on the way. We'll be right back.
The Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake. is brought to you by Shell Rotella, Yamaha, Triton Boats, Toyota, Power Pole, and by Skeeter Boats.
In a world where boring, soundless lures were the norm, comes a lure unlike any other. The fish-catching machine. Livingston lures are the only lures featuring electronic baitfish sounds that call the fish. Tie one on today and experience the power of the fish-catching machine.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Gerald Swindle. Trip includes airfare, rental car, hotel, and $500 cash, plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat, Mercury engine, and Gerald's gear from Humminbird, Minn Kota, GoPro, and more. You, the winner of a valuable prize? Could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
What is this meeting about again?
Fishing! Took my boat, boom, jumped over it, and I caught a giant. It was like a whale. 29 pounds, baby! That's the last time I danced on stage. Wow. Chief Fishing Officer. How do I get that job? I don't know.
Go to teamgtfishing.com to find out more about my real job.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Bassmaster Live, Hour 2 of fishing is underway here on day number 2. Cherokee Lake Bassmaster Elite Series first event of the season, 2017 campaign starting right here in the best start of all. Of course, on this day,
see the beat down so far. We have seen a
absolutely.
beat down.
I mean, that was unbelievable. Same thing happened yesterday, by all accounts. So just loaded the boat the first hour and a half of fishing and kind of guarded for the rest of the day. I'm kind of hoping he does a little experimenting, looks around, maybe find something else to do today. We need some more of that fish.
He's going to be out there talking to Sago here in a few minutes.
No, we don't need
Tommy,
that.
The first quad box of the season. Cliff, take a look at Cliff Crochet, bottom right. Brian Snowden, upper left.
Seth Fighter, bottom left.
Wiggins, upper right. He has been the story of the day, of the week.
As long as you know you've got similar conditions with water temperature and the same type of structure. So that's what I did yesterday. You know, the wind started really blowing, so I'd pick up a crankbait just like I would back home, because that was what felt right. Even though I wanted to be out here, we had so much wind and cloud cover that I went ahead and did that, and luckily it produced a couple real good fish for me. But you know, the majority of the fish came out here, and that's where I think you can do good, is out here. And we've got the perfect conditions today to be doing that. But still, you got to mix it up and let those fish tell you what they want. I still can't get how many you see come up off the bottom that you can't catch. You know, normally when they start moving up like that, you can get that bait right there with them and they'll usually get it, but for some reason, they're being a little fickle here on that. Please be a bass. Fighting like a bass or a walleye. You know, for 47-degree water, they got a lot of spunk once you hook them. Oh, he's coming up. Yep, it's a smallmouth. There we go. Getting bigger. That's what we like to see. That's a 3-pounder.
Take a look at Snowden fishing within sight of the dam, very close to our takeoff this morning.
He had dropped out of the top 5 considerably. That may put him back down there. He's got 3 fish in the boat. Keep an eye on our unofficial leaderboard on our screen there. There's still, right, Such, still a problem with the
there's some people out of range that aren't, their fish aren't getting in the system.
Good deal. That warms you up.
Like our leader.
Like our leader, perhaps. Yeah.
Warms you up.
But our leader still
we're getting paid at least.
Coming into today, Cliff Crochet, 1 bass, correct?
Yeah.
1 bass.
I just need 4 more like that.
See Wiggins getting a deadly accurate weight on his 5 bass right now. He's been.
We've got 2.5, 2 2.5s, and a 3.
Last fish or two have only gained them between 1 and 3 ounces.
Deserves a drink of water.
Yeah, we showed a little recap of his catches this morning. We could have shown the same catch
Absolutely.
5 times. It's like a class reunion.
Got eyes.
Yeah, clone.
2 3/4 to 3.5 pounds.
My water's half frozen.
If you notice, all of your smallmouth guys fishing very, very featureless, deep water, flat areas. Just typical smallmouth wintering deal. Compared to your leader coming into today, Cliff Crochet, who has absolutely ignored all of that style fishing.
Like you said, it looks like a whole different tool. He's at Bull Shoals or something fishing.
I did ask Crochet. He said, "Look, 45-degree angle banks were the key." I said, "Is it a typical transition deal, kind of like we would see at maybe Grand Lake, up the lake on Table Rock, where you look for that big bouldery deal where it goes into chunk rock?" He said, "No." He said, "It just has to be the correct angle bank." He said, in fact, 2 or 3 of his big largemouth yesterday were just on just pure red clay.
Wow.
No rock, nothing else mixed in there. But the major key with the crankbait that he's using, 15-pound line, shallow running crankbait. Do not want to get into the name brand of that crankbait. Was used at last year's Classic. Stop and go was the key. I said, "Did you have to connect with the bottom or connect with a rock?" He said, "Well, that helped. I got bites doing that," but he said a lot of times, no, my bait was not on the bottom on some of my bigger catches.
But I got the same things I had yesterday, except I had that 4.5 largemouth. So, I mean, I knew that it was a bonus, but I got what everybody else had yesterday, this morning, so I'm happy with it. I mean, I wish I just had another deep spot here close that had them, but there's a few over there on that bank, but I don't think it's anything that would help me.
Now, does Jesse Wiggins dare go over and try something else, or is he better served to sit and sort of keep his place here?
What you're saying is he better served to just lock his power poles down and hang out with his cameraman, Brian?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't recommend it. Being selfish and all.
Was them guys in that nitro with Bassmaster? You know them?
I don't know who.
They had a drone too. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I don't think it was ours.
Was it not? You video that mud in front of the boat. Show that to the viewers at home. Jordy be proud of that.
I'll tell you something refreshing real quick about Wiggins. And I use the word refreshing because I've got multiple texts this morning about him. We live in the world of the Elite Series where it's sponsors and and partnerships and that's how these anglers make a living. You're looking at the start. I guess here's what I'm saying is, if you looked at his rods this morning, 3 different name brand rods, right? That right there to me, that is bass fishing, man.
That's the baseline right
That's
there.
the baseline. That dude is just a stick. You made the comment coming in here, what did he have, 3 or 4 sponsors? Just picked.
Oh, no, I talked to him a month ago, and he only said he had 1.
A month
and
ago.
now he's got, look at his boat.
Wait till the end of this week.
Well, winning 2 opens in, 2 years, you're going to have some people calling.
But
right?
I'll tell you something. Last night was the first time that I had ever spoke to Jesse Wiggins. If I am a company and I look at what he's already done and how he has held himself today, to me, that's a blue chip. That's what Jordan Lee was. That's what Jordan Lee was. Seriously, 4 years ago.
Yeah, very, very similar.
That's the total package right there. I did scold him, though, last night. His boat was if you looked at his carpeting last night, I looked at it on the photo gallery and I said, "Look, Hammer," I said, "your boat was a train wreck yesterday." He goes, "That was my Marshall," and he apologized to me. He jumped in his boat.
Oh, no, the stories we had that he's kind of a little disorganized at times.
Not only that, it looks like his cameraman on the back deck is done trashing that thing.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Using that thing for a floor mat.
Solid,
Hey.
solid guy, though. Unreal.
You catch him like that, your boat can look just about any old way.
Had a tweet about where are the Tennessee local guys? Bam. Mullins and Defoe, second and third.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, though. Okay.
No, third and fourth. Wiggins isn't shown up on top yet.
And obviously, coming to this tournament, everybody talk Ott and David Mullins, and I kind of
Walker.
I tracked their practice. Mullins was terrified just for the simple fact that he said, I know too much on this lake, and I'm worried that can hurt me. He goes, if I could just shoot par going into the weekend. I think the one that surprised me the most, though, yesterday was Brandon Card. And here's the other side of that, though.
I'm leaving that in here until I get out of here.
Talking to Brandon Card Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, he knew he was in trouble. You could tell in his demeanor, in his tone, coming into the first day of the tournament, Card knew he was in some serious. He was the most fragile
It may swim down.
of the anglers that I had, locals that I had called.
Has to be.
But it's just from being deep.
Yeah, I guess so.
Could it
it was just
because
from
he
turning it loose.
from
after
here
being- I
knows
guess
too many
it
places here?
just- If I got that needle, I'll go fizz that sucker right quick. See if he'll go back down.
You hear Jesse Wiggins right there talking about having a fizz one. You must have one. Brandon Card said he does not do this style of fishing here. He does not fish vertical.
He probably came last year when it was a different story and knocked him crazy, right?
He said, look, the way I usually fish Cherokee is running banks, running key stretches of banks. And that is just not playing. And the other side is it's not his game here.
Animal cookies. Yes. I forgot them babies was in there. We're going to be breaking them out here in a little bit.
So you put Crochet, day one leader, locked up.
Bet you they're still good.
Third small one of the day.
A little chilly. I'm going to put that stuff in here. I don't want to put that.
They're smaller, but they're biting. Getting some bites.
That's under my drought.
Hey, Such, while we're quad boxing and fizzing fish right now, for hashtag Bass Live, I'd love to get some picks for the Classic. Tommy, who are you looking at, friend?
For the Classic?
Yes.
Yeah, just caught another small one.
I think I said when we had a little gathering earlier, I liked a Todd
I-
Faircloth. And nobody seemed to
At
really
least I'm catching some fish.
like that too much. But
they did not.
No, they did not. They didn't like that a
I'd
bit.
like to see some Faircloth win.
Sure.
That's what I was going to pick.
It'd be better
Really?
just keep
Gonna
it,
say
but if
Todd
not,
Faircloth.
at least-
Oh, is that right, Such?
That's right.
Oh, I understand.
Hey, I bought me a new battery last night, and that baby works.
This cast right here I'm trying to make might be where I caught one I picked yesterday. But I'm gonna fish up this stretch with this crankbait some more. And if they don't bite it, if nothing happens, I'll probably turn around with a jig, fish the same area, just try to slow it down a little bit and see if that'll get me a couple keeper bites. I don't want a ban it, yeah, because it worked, but you know, a change to sort of fish something different is not a bad thing. So it'd be like teeth down and drag a jig over nothing. This fish here might have to show them something a little different from the goon. But we got this weather coming in, looking up over the hill. And it looks like they got some clouds coming. They got some rain coming.
Well, didn't really have any air in him. He's just struggling. I don't know.
Did he just let him go?
I think he did.
Well, we tried to be the conservationalist. I might have to catch one while I'm over here.
Well, he's got room for one now.
All right, so let's see if he can explain that. I think he had one that was not looking good in his live well, did not want to risk a dead fish
That's crazy.
penalty.
I got 3 or 5 bigger than that. That's a good one.
And I believe he just let him go.
Oddly enough, we've never seen in our live
I don't think we've
production.
seen it. I don't think we've seen a 3-pounder be.
No.
They was
awfully shallow up there too.
okay. Yeah, one of the fish I turned loose was kind of struggling, and I got a fishing needle, and I thought it was because he may have been. I caught him from deep water, so I was just going to try to fizz him, but I don't know. It didn't really help much, so I don't know. I think he swam off a little bit, or did he? No. But yeah, that's what I was doing. Trying to save one. It was a good one too.
So does he still have 5, or is that 4?
He has to have 4, right? We can only have had 5.
No.
Unless he just caught that one.
He has 5.
Oh, okay. Oh,
He
that
just
was
caught
one.
It just
one.
floated
trying
up.
to help
It
him.
floated up after we had been fishing.
Okay.
All right.
It's one of the ones he called a while ago, so that's
I got you. Okay.
completely legal. He was just trying to help that fish.
Got a little bit different sort of Humminbird lay of the lake to check out right now. It's basically the lay of the tournament, if you want to put it that way. We take a look at where our top 10 anglers are fishing right there, and we start with Brandon Pollinek down at the bottom end.
Exactly right. If you go from there, there's the one that we all had our eyes on coming into this tournament, David Mullins. But if you take a look at your flyover right now, Humminbird lay of the lake, generally all of your leaders right now fishing very, very close to that main lake. And coming into this tournament, talking to locals, talking to some of the favorites for this event, they said within, call it 8 to 12 miles of the takeoff near the dam, that would be the major player in this tournament for the smallmouth. See the foe fishing right across from David Mullins and Jesse Wiggins. Adrian Nabina fishing just up lake from David Mullins. Jamie Hartman from New York having a big tournament so far.
Big day, good day for Jamie Hartman. Hartman, 16 pounds that we've got unofficially.
Oh, how about Terry Scroggins with a big
Scroggins in our
comeback
top
today.
10. Yes, doing very, very well. And as you say, this main lake part is the place, the more reservoir part of this waterway.
No doubt that it is being dominated on the main lake with smallmouth, and as we said earlier in our broadcast, this is the tale of 2 lakes. It's the main lake smallmouth deal, and as you fly up the lake is where it really turns into more of a river system. And really, Jesse Wiggins' spot that he's fishing right now, it looks like he's way back in a pocket. That is not the case. He's really fishing in the mouth of a pocket of one of these islands off of the main lake, and really the main river channel acts as that highway that feeds into that pocket right there. The difference looking at that Lake Master mapping is Wiggins' deal is not a deep water rock situation. Just a typical wintertime smallmouth deal. It's where the bait goes into this gut and the smallmouth just hang there for a couple months.
But more you say of a bank angle thing than it is a bottom structure thing.
Here's what's interesting. If you look at Snowden, Fighter, Wiggins, and anybody else in our top 10 that's catching them, here's what the bottom looks like. Right there.
Yeah.
It's not a big vertical incline. And the other thing that I think is real cool about Wiggins from the other anglers. If you look at Fighter and Snowden and a lot of the other guys, they're concentrating on very small, isolated rock piles where the smallmouth collide with the bait. That is not the situation where Wiggins is at. It's just basically flat red clay in a gut, flat red clay, to where that bait pushes into and the smallmouth are just hanging there.
All right. Triton on the line one more time. How about some Dave Mercer right now? Dave took us through the launch and did your job, and it was fascinating to watch, and the interviews you brought us were fantastic this morning. What do you, as you watch this show, look at where are you right now? You're downtown. You're where the old World's Fair was, right?
Looks like Seattle.
Yeah, it does.
That's right. Hanging out downtown Knoxville, guys. And that's right. The World Fair was here, I believe, in '82, and that the tower right there. Unfortunately, we can't get up there today. I mean, basically, guys, here's the deal. They sent me into town today, and I'm starting to feel a lot like Chevy Chase in Vacation. I mean, remember when they went to Wally World and it was closed? We tried to go to Dolly World. It's closed, and we came down here, and with this cold temperatures, pretty much downtown Knoxville is shut down. But the Sphere is right behind me here, and not a lot of people out on the streets to talk to here today. But that is about to change in a big, big way, guys, because day one and day two, we have the weigh-in down at Cherokee Dam. So this afternoon's weigh-in will be outdoors at Cherokee Dam, but it all changes coming into the weekend. If you make that cut into the weekend, you get to make the drive right here to the Knoxville Convention Center, and this is where everybody's going to line up to come into the weigh-in this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, an indoor weigh-in to kick off the Bassmaster Elite Series 2017 schedule.
Dave, we're told that is behind you is called the Sun Sphere, just in case you wanted to call it by its proper name, part of the old World's Fair, which is back in the 1980s, I think, wasn't it, or something like that?
Did you go to it?
What?
Did you go to it?
No,
No,
I did not go. That's why they don't have World Fair anymore.
82, I believe, Tommy. You are correct.
Dave,
You're correct. 82, I believe, the World Fair was.
Dave, if we were to start a rumor that America's baby was going to show up at Dollywood tomorrow, I think the situation might change. I think the crowds might start to gather. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, the problem is Dollywood's closed. We tried to go. I mean, it's closed. It doesn't open for another month. I mean, they shut the doors on Dollywood, so somebody's got to, I guess, get Dolly Parton and get her to open the gates, just like they did in Vacation. I mean,
look,
I tried to get into Dollywood. Trust me, I'd love to go to Dollywood.
I'm going to be vividly clear about this. That place does not have to be open for us to get a taste of America's baby again.
No,
that's number one.
That's good.
Hey, number two, Dave, seriously. Talk about in the last decade on the Elite Series. Have we ever seen a situation that we're seeing with Jesse Wiggins right now that you can recall?
Derek Remitz, maybe-ish. Yeah, I mean, but not even, because I mean, if you look at what Jesse Wiggins has done, we're calling him a rookie, but the dude is already qualified for this upcoming Classic, the 17 Classic and the 18 Classic, via 2 Opens wins. To win 2 Opens in back-to-back years is an incredible feat, and then to start off your first Elite Series event, I know we're only at the halfway point of the tournament, but I mean, we saw what happened with Wiggins this morning. It is really, really incredible. I don't know that we have seen somebody that strong come basically out of nowhere. I mean, we're going to see big jumps by a Jacob Wheeler. We're going to see it from a Stetson Blaylock. But from an angler that has not fished at that tour level, to do what he is doing is truly amazing. And as I said earlier, I mean, look at our top 3. If momentum doesn't mean something, I mean, it definitely does. They've proved it. All of our top 3 won the last Bassmaster event they fished. Crochet won the Open in the fall. Wiggins won earlier this year at the Open. And obviously we saw what Seth Fighter did last year. I mean, Seth Fighter even further, if he stays in the top 3 at the end of this deal, he'll say 3 regular season events he was in the top 3, which is incredible.
Cliff Crochet, again, we got to give him props. He's the leader after the first day, and so far he's struggled a little bit today, but he is a different guy. I mean, just watching him fish now, give us your impression, because he said to everyone who listened, my attitude has changed. That's what won me that tournament back on the Chafalaya.
It's like he's not even the same person.
No, he's been taken over by someone. What is your idea of the transformation of Cliff Crochet?
Well, I mean, Cliff's one of my closest friends. I talk to him a lot in the offseason, and he's a little wiry. He gets a little wound up, and he's pretty excitable. Doesn't seem to be that cat here. But what I will say is it's very easy to be calm, cool, and collected when you're leading a tournament. We'll see how it goes on this weekend. But I do think, like we said, that momentum, that confidence that Cliff got from that win, it just really, he told me in the offseason, I said to him, what has that done to you? And he said, it's not just the confidence from the win, it's the confidence from the guys he was against. If you looked at that event that he won, it was him and Greg Hackney, which arguably is the hottest angler over the last 3 years or so, or one of the hottest anglers. The fact that Cliff was able to beat him in that event, I think, has given him the confidence to know, hey, I belong. Because in every career, you look at Cliff Crochet, he's had up and down career, made a few classics, and then the last few years really slipped. But that confidence of knowing you belong, and that's the exact same thing that Seth Fighter said to me this morning when I talked to him. He said, that those big finishes just let me know when the situation's right, when I get my opportunities, I'm good enough to hang with these guys.
Almost got it done. You saw our graphic there, Clark's Hill, back a few years ago, not too dissimilar, a waterway from this one right here, sort of an upland reservoir. It's a Cliff Crochet. Like all these guys, as versatile as you can be, as you have to be, to compete with the best in the world out there. Dave, who else have you got your eye on among these up-and-comers? The day's been all about Jesse Wiggins. Who else in the tournaments to come is going to give us a day like that we're not maybe familiar with yet?
Well, I got to say, Mark Daniels Jr., I mean, he is a legit stud from FLW Tour. I mean, you have to obviously include, I know they're not in a Rookie of the Year race, but Stetson Blaylock and Jacob Wheeler. But Mark Daniels Jr., I think, is going to have a pretty incredible season this year. Our rookie class is very, very strong here this year. But what impresses me about Mark Daniels Jr. is Mark Daniels Jr. is basically, he's the total package. I mean, he can catch him, but he's also great on the mic and everything. So I think it's going to be fun to watch him this season.
Dave, thank you so much. Get back, get ready for the weigh-in. We'll talk to you some more this afternoon. We're going to take a break again, as we want to tell you in about 30 minutes, and then come back in an hour and a half later and get you down to the end of the fishing day almost time for check-in right now. But before we go to a break right now, let's take a look at the guy who's been the story. Well, for us, for sure, all morning, Jesse Wiggins, catching them in a great way this morning. As we say, we could show the same shot all the time because they're all identical fish.
Everything in Wiggins live well right now over 3 pounds. A big morning. Doesn't have that bonus kicker largemouth that he had on day number one, but a very, very solid stringer. Your unofficial leader here to kick off the year.
Great limit there, and he is your leader. And, contemplating whether to just put the rod away, close the box up, and just guard this place for the rest of the day. We kind of hope that doesn't happen, but we'll have more. We're covering all these guys out here today. We'll be back with more on Bassmaster Live.
Continually proven on the tournament trail, and with Skeeter owners everywhere, with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy, save, fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy, save, fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
The competition is fierce and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package, including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The classic and each individual elite event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at Bassmasterfantasy.com.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. with added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkley.
We started very, very early today. Tell your friends we're starting right before the takeoff time. As a matter of fact, we started at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Central this morning. It's a lot of fun. You get some great interviews, great energy. You start that day. You definitely tell your folks who like this show that they can catch it a lot earlier. And that's the way we're doing it this year. Another, to the old school TV guys, they'd call that a quad split right there.
Exactly right, Fred.
4-box.
And again, we talked about earlier today that we thought we would see some fireworks early this morning, which is exactly what happened. We will be taking time out soon and then coming back for late day action.
Yeah, we're gonna shut down with that traditional lull time of the day.
Hey,
right?
I want to talk about one thing right now with your leader coming into today. Get ready for this. What happened in this tournament is exactly what David Mullins predicted on Monday. He said, look, here's the best way to put it. Somebody is going to run up that river and they're going to crush those largemouth. They're going to, he said, potentially lead. He said, but my history on this lake tells me that for sheer numbers, average size, and consistency, it'll never hold up. It will not hold up. He said it'll look darn good for a day, maybe two, but really did not think that it would last past that. So far, David Mullins right on.
Panned out to be true. When you talked to Cliff, did he have a plan B in case this is exactly what happens today?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
He said he's going to stay and live in that muddy water. In fact, he was adamant that he said, look, man, I had a horrible practice. Today's great to be in the lead. Will it hold up? He said, I have no idea, but I'm going to stay where I'm most comfortable, in the dirt.
We have seen one change since we started this morning, a little cloud cover slipping in right there. The temperature is on the rise. We'll get up into the 50s today, but slowly. Started out really cold this morning.
Crazy. I've been watching Bassmaster's TV show since I was a kid, and now I'm going to get to be on there. Golly day. Just even last year, just watching live, you never even, like, just watching live, even all the way up till last year, you didn't even ever think about being on it, really. I mean, and then I win that tournament on Smith, and it's like I got a chance now. And then I caught him at Douglas and qualified, and man, I don't know if I'm just the luckiest person alive or what, but I'll take it. I mean, I was laying in bed this morning, and I woke up kind of early. I was just laying there and thinking, I'm like, 4 years ago, if you'd have told me I'd been in this position, I'd have been like, you're high. I mean, you're crazy. I want some of what you got. And now I'm sitting here. Exactly. And it's just, man, I just keep wanting to figure out if I just don't know for sure if I'm lucky or what. I don't know, but God, I keep telling everybody at home, I'm like, this is not normal. Like, you know, winning that tournament in Florida and then doing decent here, it's just like, it ain't normal. It ain't supposed to happen like that. But now, I Harris chained the Open in January, and I caught him on the exact same thing as that right there. It's just a hole. I caught him on a crankbait down there though, and a jig head with a trick worm. But it was just, I found one spot in practice that had biggins on it, and it lasted all 3 days. And it's crazy how similar this is looking to that. It's just, it's crazy. But just by watching live, the last 3 years getting to watch it and then actually being like, my name is actually going to be on the daggum screen, and like, just thinking about it, like, it's crazy. But I still got one plan, and it's to catch them. That's the, I love being part of it, but I still want to catch them more than anybody. I can promise you, or just as much as anybody, because I know all these guys want to catch them, but I need to catch them more than anybody. I can promise you that. Daddy needs to be paid. I'm not. I don't.
What?
That's what I told Zana last night. He's like, "You want a girlfriend?" I was like, well, maybe if they're like a sponsor, if they got enough money to be a sponsor. But no, I told him, I was like, you better. He's like, I may bring that up. I said, well, you better make sure it's a joke. I don't want people to think I'm like that. But,
old boy was stone cold serious.
No,
No,
you
don't do that.
Bus.
Opportunity. I wanted to give myself a chance, like not have to worry about stuff back home. Like I can leave and like I don't have nothing to worry about. I can just, if I don't catch them, it's my fault. It ain't because I was worried about something besides the money, of course, but it's getting a little bit better. But it's just, I just wanted to make sure I did this before I started any of that stuff. I'd like to catch some more though if people's actually gonna watch. I hate just sitting out here wasting time, but
you gotta do what's
I got money to win.
Don't worry about those
Exactly.
guys. Do what's smart.
Her fish. Oh, eat it. I don't think he's got it. It is a fish. He bumped it. Felt like a little obedient. Dang, I wanted to jack him with this jig and his 20-pound tail. It'd be nice if it was about a 5-pound head just sitting out there by one of them rocks.
There's something about the diversity of where he comes from, Jordan Lee comes from Smith Lake to Pickwick to Gunnersville to the Coosa River, Dustin Connell, all those guys. You call them kids, but we call them kids because we covered them from the first year of college.
Sure, absolutely.
But there is something about the diversity of that water and what I always say, the looks that they get from that diversity, from clear water to rivers to grass to TVA current lakes, that produces that right there.
That sort of understanding.
The understanding of so many different bodies of water, to where if you come from, it's what always amazed me about Van Dam growing up where he grew up. You just don't have that.
It's one,
dude. You
it's
have
one
natural
deal.
lakes with grass or no grass.
Yeah.
To me, if you're going to be a bass, you look at why Justin Lucas moved to Gunnersville.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a bass fisherman to put odds in your own hand, it's you move to Central Alabama to South Tennessee.
There you go.
To see the different playing fields. And what's funny is months ago, Jordan Lee told me we were taping a Zona show, and he said, "Hey man, you need to watch out for one angler this year." I said, "Who's that?" You know, and we hear that stuff all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
He said, "You need to watch Jesse Wiggins." I said, "Really?" He said, "He ain't nothing fancy, but here's what he is: a dude that catches them and catches them and catches them." He said he just gets it. And here's where you know that a guy like this walks to his own. The way that he won that, look, he was a favorite at Smith Lake because he grew up on Smith Lake.
Sure. That was his first open.
To go to Florida a month ago when everybody is fishing for spawning bass or blind sight fishing for spawning bass, for you to throw a crankbait and a shaky head and blast them, but
Are you going?
You got it.
Never mind.
And I hate to say it, unfortunately, seeing him throw this jig, he has cashed it in for the day, Tommy Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
He is done for the day.
It's only slightly related, but when's the last time we had a person win the first event of the year in the Elite Series on finesse gear, with finesse fishing? When was the last time that happened? Been a while, hasn't it? And not very often.
Well, Casey Ashley did not win with finesse. He was using a bait
Of course,
caster.
that was the classic. I'm talking about the first event of the year.
Oh, God. Well,
that's usually St. John's.
Oh, all of our first events are...
Amistad, Harris Chain. It's
Right.
just kind of weird to see that coming out. Oh, hold on. Okay.
They said this is your last tournament or last season? Dang. You retiring or you got to do another job or? I hear you. Right. I remember that. That's crazy. I bought. It's a bad deal. I think I got another one of them jigs, I hope. Looking like a tree.
You watched a little bit with David Walker, the preview that was online.
How long have you been in camera?
He said just exactly what's happening. He says all this stuff on the bot, you will go through a lot of product fishing this place unless you're doing what these guys are mostly doing.
And surprisingly, that's the first time that we've actually seen one of our anglers actually get hung up on the bottom. But and one of the reasons why that Damiki rig is so deadly accurate, you're able to not get it down in there. And when we come back, I'd like to maybe get with Seth Fighter, one of the guys, and talk about why they think they won't bite a small drop shot.
Be great. Let's do that when we come back. We're getting close to taking our midday break. That's going to be a new feature of Bassmaster Live. But hey, before we go to do that, how about the power pole replay of the day? We did hit the jackpot this morning.
Exactly right. Jesse Wiggins, an unbelievable morning. And Tommy Sanders.
Yes.
Did you have Jesse on your fantasy team this week?
I did not have Jesse Wiggins. So foolishly, I left him off.
No, I did not.
He had some guys that didn't even get a limit yesterday.
I know I called Aaron Martins to win this event. I was so close to picking Jesse Wiggins.
Yeah. Stop it. Right. You stop it. You stop it. Why don't you just call that the afterthought fantasy. Right?
Well, he is definitely on a pile of 3 to 3.5 pound fish. And you can tell he's kind of laid it up a little bit, protecting his area. But an absolutely phenomenal morning. And he did call it a little bit last night. He said, I hope I have one of those cameras with me the first 2 hours, and has been spot on that prediction.
Because that's exactly what he did on day one as well. Spent the rest of the day guarding that spot. We'll see what he does today.
One thing he was concerned about with the lack of wind, he said, man, I don't know what this calm water is going to do to me on day number 2. It actually looks like it got better.
Jesse Wiggins putting some space between him and the rest of the field as he overtakes the leader, Cliff Crochet. The first hour and 15 minutes of fishing this morning. Can he hang on to it? Got 2 more days left. I think He said a little earlier, after 3 fish, I made the cut. Oh, he made the cut long before that, I would imagine. Cut line maybe somewhere around 25 pounds, do you think? Something like that for this
I'm going to say
tournament?
it's going to be all of that.
25, maybe
really
26.
Do.
All right.
I really do. I think
Very
a little closer to
interesting.
26.
Well, that's what you got to do today. You got to be in the top 51 if you want to come back and fish tomorrow.
Seeing what we can do. Heading back up the lake right now with the day one leader, Cliff Crochet, Bassmaster.
Live.
And we're live, Cliff. How does day 2 compare to the start of day 1?
Start of day 2 is a lot rougher. Yesterday at this time I had four or five in the box. Today I only got 1. Not sure what's going on. Just not getting as many bites. But we're coming into the area of this pocket where I've had my bites and caught my keeper this morning. So make a pass through it. Hopefully we pick up a couple. If not, we'll go run some more water where I caught them yesterday. I'd like to have a limit in the box right now, but I don't. And we'll get this a long day. We're not panicking just yet. Conditions seem to be setting up though. I like the conditions we got. Supposed to warm up a little bit, and overcast never hurt nobody, so. Just gotta keep grinding. I caught 3 or 4 this morning down.
Gonna slide back down lake right now from your day one leader, Cliff Crochet. And back down from Minnesota, Seth Fighter. Still sitting, I believe, 1 fish.
1 fish,
Tommy
all he
Sanders.
had today. Much slower than his day yesterday.
But one thing Fighter did say, his late day bite was best.
Big dude.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's what you want to do.
What happened there?
Calm down. I don't know. You find there's fish here, ain't nobody fishing it though. This ain't my day, man. Couldn't do nothing wrong yesterday, and now it's just falling apart. Yeah.
Fighter with about 19 pounds yesterday. And this day has turned out completely different. But again, hey, it's early yet. Plenty of fishing time left in this day. Changing weather conditions, warming up. A little bit of a thin cloud cover, so fortunes can change during the course of this day.
One thing that Fighter did say that several of your leaders said yesterday was a lot of these fish were very, very, very finicky, hard to commit. You could idle over them, mark them, turn back around, gone, which that tends to tell you that this lake does get a pretty good amount of pressure. But Fighter said they would go in flurries of just nipping at your bait, and all of a sudden, they'd have it choked. And that's something that we've definitely seen today with Snowden and Fighter so far.
He had a good one come off a minute ago. That looked like, for all the world, like a keeper to me. And look at that bank there with 20 feet exposed, 20 feet down in this lake right now, and see, get an idea of what's on the bottom there.
We got a big fish caught. Randall Tharp is going to contend for the Phoenix Boats Big Bass.
Hey-o.
Got a 5-pounder.
Wow.
Smallmouth, largemouth.
It doesn't say here. We'll see in the blog momentarily.
What else is happening
Ty
on the
Mark
blog?
Daniels Jr., day one, if it's exactly 5.
Yeah.
That was their big bass.
Anything else from the blog? I haven't had a chance to look at the blog this morning.
Oh, gosh, I was busy. Our folks were talking about their classic picks with Zona Asked.
Okay, let's hear
Keith
it.
Combs
Yeah,
was
let's
an
hear it.
obvious
Yeah,
one.
sure.
We got a Ott Defoe and a Jordan Lee. We have the Faircloth or Hackney.
I went Jason Christie.
I know. I was thinking, does anybody pick your
I went Jason Christie.
Not yet. Nobody has. Let me see if there's any new ones. Not
I
yet.
feel like Jason Christie's kind of like the Atlanta Falcons coming into this classic.
He probably felt like that at the last classic.
Really?
a
That's
little
what I'm
bit.
being dead serious. The one thing I told you, told Suchi.
Yeah.
We're hooked up live.
Stay on for me. Oh, begging. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Come back, come back. Yes! Come on now. Come on now. Party's getting started all by myself. Catching biggins. I don't even care. I stuck my foot or hand a foot in the water. Yeah.
Solid comeback right there for the hyena.
He does not want to be called the hyena.
He said he
did not
only
say-
wants to be
he did
referred
not
to
say
as the
that.
hyena.
Stop that. How can that be productive?
Trust me.
Hey, we've had a productive day this morning, that's for sure. Hitting the jackpot with Jesse Wiggins, taking over the lead, putting some space between himself and the rest of these contenders out here, but he is not out of the woods yet. A lot of big-time threats coming from the likes of Jamie Hartman, David Mullins, and Ott Defoe all moving up the leaderboard here. Man, oh man, did he knock their lights out this morning.
So we take a timeout right now.
We're going to take an hour and a half off. This is usually the time, if you've watched Bassmaster Live the last couple of years, when there's not a lot going on anyway, we'll come back and take you almost to check-in time.
To where the fishing sucks, and then it's going to crank up again after lunch.
When we come on.
Hey, man,
you watch. Hold me to that, please. Some good stuff this morning. Bassmaster Live again back at 11:30 a.m., 10:30 Central Time. We'll be back with another 3 hours of Bassmaster Live.